Well, we were supposed to have that this was going to start come up, but hey, let me know if you guys can. Does it? Is there an echo now? I need to know if this is working. I think I solved the issue with the soundboard, but we're not sure because we definitely need to have a conversation in the high pitched squeaky voice.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was great. We liked it last time. So let's see here. So it says there's no one here yet. There's comments. So yeah, I need to know. Is there an echo? Super quiet. Super quiet. Is there an echo? Is that better? Like, did I turn the volume down? What's going on? There's one person here and it's Bubbles. And there's still an echo. Okay, cool. No, that was a test. That was a test. There was a reason there was an echo. I wanted there to be an echo, and I just wanted to make sure we were testing. Echo.
Wow.
You haven't even opened yours yet.
What? That's because I'm still working on this one.
We should do it in the echo. So, of course, you guys can see that Elliot is here. So, for some reason, I've got an issue where my hat is almost transparent. I can see Coffee Brand Coffee through my hat. Mm-hmm. So, test complete. So, Elliot, before we go any further?
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness.
Or we can talk about knives.
Well, I'm sure knives are going to figure into that, Mike. I mean, Jesus, this is like what we do.
All right.
Yeah.
So last time you were here,
yeah,
we talked about the history of Ferrum Forge Knife Works.
It was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Talked about the history of Ferrum Forge Knife Works.
Yeah.
And now you guys have released a line of kitchen knives that I do like. Okay, Dahlstrong, don't get upset. I know that you're one of my sponsors, but like I gotta talk about Elliot's knives because they're fucking great.
Sorry, guys.
So, that being said, if you guys haven't, if one of my mods if you could put up a link to the open Discord, that would be great. The public Discord, it'd be great. I'd appreciate it, so that people can join. There's only 7 people here. I don't want to get into too much stuff with only 7 people here, but they can always go back and watch it later.
Allegedly. I hear that that's how that works on the YouTube.
Well, it wouldn't have been if I almost screwed up, and they wouldn't have been able to really watch it or rewind it while we were watching it. Yeah, never.
That doesn't happen. Perfect.
No, I never broke anything in the shop. Never once.
Perfection.
Yeah, almost. So, okay. So the kitchen knives. Tell us about the kitchen knives. Hang on.
Fuck's sakes. Well, we have to do it right. I don't know if I can do this, Mike.
Okay, well, we'll talk about the kitchen knives this way then. Tell us about the kitchen knives. So the kitchen knives are released now. They are
officially released. Oh, it's been such a weird project. It's so weird.
You talk about them. I've got them. I'll go get them so we can look at them.
It's a good idea, Mike.
Yeah. I know. It's almost like I do this for a living.
Yeah, right? This fucking guy. So, I've made kitchen knives in my life. I used to make quite a few back in the early days. That used to be my number one requested type of knife. And so I've made a lot of kitchen knives. And you just don't see it too often because then we got super duper heavy into folders, and that was like all we did was make folding knives. Folding knives and folding knives and folding knives. But I've made pretty much every style of kitchen knife there is.
I have them.
And so I've developed some...
Not every style.
Some proclivities. Oh yeah, like what? Go ahead, name a style that I haven't made. Do you think I have?
No, I don't have every style here.
Oh.
I was just saying I have the 2 that you're offering, which apparently is just Tokus.
Tokus, baby. Love better Tokus. So last time I was here, right, I actually had like a prototype for.
You did, and they were thicker. They were a little bit thicker. They had some grooves in them.
Yeah, they were like well, because like every tactical brand, like we always think we want to make a tactical looking kitchen knife, and then the ladies of our lives started talking to us, and they were like, these knives are really functional, we love them, but they're hideous, they're ugly, I don't want that shit in my kitchen. And we were like, oh
That's funny. That's what my wife says about me.
It's true.
It's true. She kicks me out of the kitchen all the
All
time.
the time. So, I was like, well, all right. Well, maybe I'll shelf this idea in this project because I don't have like, I don't have a manufacturer to do the things that I would want to do. And then, one of the cool things about being me is I get emails from manufacturers daily.
Bubbles asks, so were kitchen knives a passion project?
There's something that we have always like known that we were at one point in our career going to have to do. We're going to have to do as a production piece, and I have some ideas and proclivities for kitchen knives, and well, I finally did it. And it's all based off of like what I have seen throughout my life, because I love to cook. In fact, if you consult ChatGPT, ChatGPT will tell you that I am a professional chef, which I am not. But ChatGPT thinks I am.
I mean, yeah, why not?
I mean,
I've been to your house. It's kind of like that.
I do cook quite a bit.
You and I both. Like people don't really like. You and I have done a lot of meals together at the shop.
Very
Just
strange.
very strange meals. Like
Cooked on strange
like,
things.
did you guys just like make? Did you cook? Like somebody came over and was like, "What are you cooking?" I was like, "Oh, it's pork belly," and they're like, "Is that a mop bucket?" It's like, yeah, it was sous vide. So it's not like the food was touching the water. It didn't have to be a clean container.
Just needed a container.
Just needed a container. It was in a vacuum locked sealed bag.
That's how we roll. So yeah, I've loved cooking for a very long time.
Who's Chad GPT?
Chat.
He knows.
GPT?
He's playing. He's just an idiot. I'm not an idiot. I just play one on the internet.
You too, huh? So, one of the things that I noticed about all of the ladies in my life, so like my grandmothers and my mother and my wife and Chris's wife and all the ladies that I knew, right? They always gravitated toward these like short knives. They were usually like utility knives, like 5-inch, 6-inch blades, and they would just kick the ever-living shit out of them. And then I'd be like, why don't you just use the beautiful knives that like I either give you or recommend to you? Like, why do you use this crap knives? And they kept saying all the other ones are just too big. Now, who knew that you could be too big? I didn't know that. So
right? I was like, nah, I'm just gonna wait for it to happen. I was like, this is going to morph organically. It's just gonna be.
Because size apparently does matter, and there is such a thing as too big in kitchen knives for the ladies. So I went, you know what? If we're going to launch a knife, I might as well do the thing that I like to do, which is try and find a soft spot in the market. Because the kitchen knife market is very intense. Like, there's a lot of companies doing a lot of stuff. Some of it's really cool. Some of it's terrible, right? You can market the shit out of them on social media. So, like, if you are a knife guy and you have Instagram commercials for kitchen knives at this point. So, why try and compete and make, like, standard size stuff and do the things that every other company is doing when I could try and
Hang on a second, I have to ask them a question. Is that better? Do we have the microphone too far away, or because Elliot is a mumbler?
What?
And I am deaf.
Huh?
And so I just thought, do I need to turn the volume up better?
Yeah.
Is that better? Like I can turn it. We don't want to do that.
That's
That's
bad
too
for us. That's really bad.
That was loud.
Don't do that again, Mike.
I won't. I got you.
What the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, sorry. Shit. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So let's get into the kitchen knife world with something that you don't see too much, which is a 6.5-inch like full height Santoku-esque blade, because I like Santoku style blades, and well, hopefully it'll do well. Hopefully.
Well, so this one, I like this one. It worked really well for. I did a roast.
Like my little paring knife.
Yeah, it's not even really a paring knife. It's just like a little. I mean, kind of, but like paring knives are usually kind of thin. That's got a nice broad blade, but they come down super thin.
Super thin.
Oh, there we go. That's the one I should have had the echo on.
Bingo. Yeah.
But so they're not real big, but the thing is, they've got a cant to them, and so they've got like this drop down. So you're just like, and they're nice and they're softened around the corner.
Very softened. That is like a major point because this guy does use a pinch grip all the time when he's cutting, and
So,
and I wanted to design a handle that really pushed your hand into the pinch grip. You have no idea how hard that is.
They're so they're like
designing kitchen knives is actually, it's not harder. It's just a different kind of thinking your way through possible problems.
I don't know why I'm trying to look at that. I don't have my reading glasses on. I'm like, I can't focus on that. It's too close. They are nice and thin though. So I do have to agree. This is a prototype, and I know you guys fixed it on the productions.
Yeah. Oh.
That's gonna definitely. These are gonna be here for a little bit longer. There's gonna be like a corner knocked off on my Scotch-Brite.
Yeah.
Like just quick.
That's what we. Okay. So it was in the original render, right? Because I'm not an idiot. I don't make sharp corners on fucking knives where your hand's gonna be, and then we went through a second round of prototyping just to make sure that they radius that little corner. And what did I get? Hundreds of knives without radiused heels. I was like, God damn it. So Chris and I will have touched every single knife that you might get.
You guys do. Anyway, I mean, you guys QA everything.
But not, we've actually, like, if we've taken it to... Actually, we've been using Scotch-Brite wheel to knock it down.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
What?
Said Steve. What's up, Steve? Aiden, any Nakiri's or Japanese-style kitchen knives? These are Japanese. The Toku is a Japanese style.
I'm blurring some lines here. I really am.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my green screen because I can see through your knife. Like, I can see...
Oh, it's that special cladding we put on there. Yeah, it makes them invisible.
Yeah.
Yeah, vaguely. Yeah.
We should have gotten a notification of the $2 that Aiden dropped on Super Chats. Guys, just remind you guys, like, we're running lights and stuff, and I paid for this software. So if you can't afford to support the channel, join a membership. But if you want to drop a Super Chat, that's fine. I just don't know why it hasn't popped up on the thing. Maybe it's because I turned the chat box off.
Oh, my God. What? You put a thing over my face. Oh, no, I think we can only see it.
No, everybody's going to be able to see it. I'm just trying to see if the chat box affects whether this $2... So, see, you're going to see chat pop up. I just want to see if that's going to...
Did you just put the chat over my face?
Well, I didn't do it on purpose. Like, I can move it. Not that.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
What? Hang on. I'm going to turn it off.
Come on my podcast, man. I'm going to put a chat box over your face.
I'm turning off the chat box. There we go. See? I just wanted to be able to recognize that...
Okay.
Sword fight.
Oh.
Right? Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool?
Oh. It's kind of fun.
There we go. So,
yeah. We were talking about fucking kitchen knives.
Yeah.
You dick.
Oh.
I started messing around with chat boxes.
Well, I've got ADHD.
What?
Yeah.
Squirrel?
Shiny.
Ooh.
No, so you guys have been talking about doing kitchen knives since before you left the old shop.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, you were making some. You were just making your own. And you had prototyped some, like, French-style chef knives, like a traditional chef's knife.
Yeah. I made a lot of kitchen knives when I started looking back on it. I mean, you had to go way back. Like, way back, I had used the Wayback Time Machine for the internet to go look at my old websites. And be like, oh, yeah, that's right. I made that shit, too. Oh, yeah. You do this knife game long enough, you start to forget the shit that you've made. And then sometimes you see, like, wait, I made that? What? Oh, God.
Said Stevie said he used his Chef Toku to prep a huge batch of chili yesterday. Sliced up a roast this evening. Seriously, great kitchen knife.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I tried.
Well, and that's so I noticed like I was chopping up onions just because I wanted to do something. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just chop up some onions and I'll make chili dogs so that I can give the wife a really fancy, give her a fancy Dutch oven this evening.
He sent pictures of this in our group chat. He's like, look what I'm doing.
Yeah, and so I chopped up all these, and I was like, man, that is so thin behind the edge. And that's the problem. Like a lot of kitchen knives, like they're great, they feel great in hand, and you get ready to cut with it. You're like, yeah, this
is a sweet axe, man.
This fucking thanks, Paul Bunyan. Like this fucking sucks. It won't cut anything. Like they don't. Even a couple of the Dahlstrong knives, as good as they are, I've had a couple of Dahlstrong knives that were just a little bit thick behind the edge. So what did you guys have these done down to? Because they're fucking thin.
We had them done to 0.
Well, of course, at the very apex, but like
Yeah.
behind the edge, what is it?
I actually don't know. It was as thin as they could make it. That
As
was-
thin as they could make it
those are
before
my
they blew
words.
holes through. They're like, yeah, we foiled it out. Do you remember the time that guy had the guy that brought me the knife or sent me the knife and told me he wanted it done? He wanted it done at some ridiculously thin angle, 15 degrees or some shit, like, but not like.
An inclusive 15?
Yeah, like not like 30, not like 15 per side. And he goes, no, like 15 inclusive. I was like, I don't think that's what you want.
But I'll do it.
I'm like, I'll do it.
Just so you can find out the hard way.
And I sharpened it. Wait, is 15 inclusive too thin or too thick?
It's too thin.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, that's what it was. My brain doesn't work sometimes.
7.5
So this
aside.
guy, has 7.5 per side. So he sends me, and I'm like, as I'm sharpening it, I'm like being real careful, and I'm like, I used an angle block and everything, and I was using a fixture, and I couldn't even put pressure on, like I could just barely touch the stone to it, and like you could remember I showed you, like I was. Like the
Push it with
edge
your
would
hand,
roll
and
if
you
you
can bend
touched
it.
it with your thumb. It would roll over, and I sent it to him. It's like, bro, you fucked my knife up, and I'm like,
I
no,
did
bro,
exactly
I did
what you
exact,
asked.
and I showed you the email, and I was like, bro,
Warned ya.
when this
Warned
guy throws a fit, because I'm always at the shop. He's probably gonna called while I was at the shop, and you were like, he's like, that's exactly what you fucking asked for, dude.
Gave you what you asked for, buddy.
So,
Wait, can we talk about your sponsor, Coffee Brand Coffee, real quick?
yeah, sure, why not?
Okay. Because we love it. And by we, I mean my wife.
Yeah.
That was royal we there. Yeah, she loves it.
How's the you part of we?
I
Because the me part of we
the
loves it.
rare part, the rare coffee that I do drink, I was like, damn, this is tasty coffee.
Talk about the coffee. Sell them on it. There's a link right there where you guys can yeah. You can, and by the way, Will B, if you're here, or Aiden or any of my other mods, if you could drop a link to the general, like the open public Discord, that'd be great. Oh, did you you brought the prototype? I saw it.
What?
Are you wanting to talk about that knife that you brought?
Sure.
After you get done with are you done with the kitchen knives?
Yeah, I guess so. Look, okay, I gotta be honest. I'll be honest with you people. Okay, so when you're launching a new product, like you live, eat, breathe, and sleep that new product. So I've been talking and writing about those damn kitchen knives for months now, and I find myself just burnt out on them. They don't suck. That's like, you know, one of the goals of my life is to make knives that don't suck. They really don't suck. They're fantastic. We tried really hard. And I didn't even tell the story. Like okay, so because we had to unbox and knock the heel off of every single knife, right? Now I'm really looking at, yeah, is that the blueberry one?
It's blackberry.
Oh, so close.
Blackberry cream.
It's done.
It's delicious. Anyway, so you had to knock the corners off of all of
So
them.
then I can't help but like inspect the entire knife, right? So what we ended up finding was about half of them had logos that were just horribly off center on the pins. So I'm actually sending half of the order back.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's really annoying. But hey, good on the manufacturer. They said, hey, no, send it back. We'll pay for everything. We'll get them back to you in a week. And I was like, okay, oh, all right.
Now I know that you didn't tell me, which is out of character. But are you willing to tell everybody who's making them? Is it a company we would know?
No,
Okay.
but it is a company that they do manufacture for Dalstrong.
Oh, okay.
This is
That makes sense.
They reached out to me, and then I looked through their catalog, and I was like, hey, this looks really familiar. And then I just asked them, I'm like, hey, do you manufacture for Dalstrong? And they're like, yep. And then I showed them all of my Dalstrong knives and said, which ones did you make? And they were like, this one, and this one, and this one. And I was like, oh, okay, so you make some quality shit. All right,
Yeah.
let's do this.
It's unusual for me to like get really excited when I start using it. And when I was chopping up the onions, I was like, oh, I fucking love these.
Yeah.
We cook like my wife is cooking right now. Like we just had chicken cutlets.
cuts, they were delicious.
We had deep fried chicken.
They were
cutlets.
delicious, Yuka. Delicious.
Katsu o shiu.
とても美味しいね.
She's making fried dumplings for my daughter's lunch tomorrow. We can't have those. Fuck. Oh, do you want to let him have some? Sauce.
I don't need sauce.
Oh, there's sauce in the bottom.
No.
Chunk.
No.
Oh, God.
Stop yelling. I'm on phone. I'm on film. Jesus Christ.
This touching family moment was brought to you by Michael Emler.
The dog came out and he's gonna knock over about $1,000 worth of fucking studio equipment.
God damn, those are so good.
She makes those. So that's all like hand chopped chives and pork and cabbage and fresh. My wife, I can always tell when my wife's making gyoza, the stuffed dumplings, because I can smell garlic down the road. Like I'll be walking up the house, I'm like, we're having gyoza, because there's in a batch of she makes about 300 of them a time. She uses several heads of garlic, and everybody's like, "Oh, how many cloves of garlic?" I was like, "That's the stupid fucking question." I tuned in expecting QVC, LOL. I mean, well, kinda. Oh,
What?
never mind. We'll talk about this off camera. We have to get together and do something for Jim, and we've got to put a collage of his days selling watches, and put them all together, like different pictures and stuff, and then put it up on Instagram, unbeknownst to him.
Okay.
We watched on a live feed one night. I pulled it up in a window, and we watched old MSN shop in MSNBC or whatever.
It was.
Oh yeah, hang on.
You ready?
Let's get it set up. That sounds like a commercial. Cheers.
Done smooth. Michael? God damn it. So, here we go. We have to talk about a prototype that Elliot has in his hand, which reminds me of a mixture of a couple of knives.
What?
Yeah.
You're insinuating that I have some kind of style.
Do you remember why you called your NTAC the NTAC?
Because I'm a no-talent ass clown.
He just makes the same knife like 80 different ways. It's like Ray Laconico. Wow, hey, that's like pointed right at my eye. Now I'm a pirate.
Okay, we can turn that off.
That is a forthcoming artisan collaboration.
What's that one called?
Shit, Mike. Can't remember what I called it.
I got news for you guys. I have given him several incredibly good names for knives. So the Gent came out, and they made a larger
hooker
version.
is not a good name for a knife.
Say what?
One-legged pirate hooker is not a good
That
name
wasn't
for a
it.
knife.
That
Mike.
wasn't it. So I was like, "What's every Gent?" They were gonna make a bigger version of the Gent. I was like, "What's every Gent have?" He has a coupe, a car, like like.
Yeah, that's a great name for that knife. Is a coupe. Oh no, it's
Why do chicken coopes only have 2 doors?
coupe. I don't know why.
Because if they had 4, they'd be a saloon.
A saloon. You mean like a sedan? Is
A sedan.
That's the
Same
joke you were
thing.
going for?
Yeah, well, it's a British joke.
I'm here to help out for you, Mike. I got you. No,
In Japan, it's still called a saloon, and I lived there for the majority of my adult life.
I think it's gonna be called the Trucks. TRUX. I think. Maybe that's it. I'm pretty sure that's it.
The trucks. Let me see.
Not so bad.
No, none of your knives are too bad. I gotta fix something though. We're having an issue with talk amongst yourselves.
This guy with his setup, oh my god. He's moving lights around now.
I think we got the lights too close. I think that's why we're getting so much weirdness with the green screen effect.
Right, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. Toads. So yeah, this particular knife, I've been carrying it around. It's done a lot of work around the house for me because I'm still technically remodeling my house, and I will be forever.
Well, it was a little smaller.
Forever remodel. But yeah, nice big belly drop point. She works. She's a worker. Works.
I have an invisibility cloak.
Shit. This guy.
A little bit warmer than I want to be. It's a blanket. Hey. So
It's a winner. It's a winner.
So we were at Elliot's house. Oh.
Yeah, I let Mike in my house.
When was it? When was it when Jesse and everybody was
2
over?
weeks ago. It was
2 weeks
Two weeks ago?
Something like that.
It was before I went to Chicago.
And we got to talking about his dog, and we are going to have to do a we're gonna have to do a search party for almost everything that Elliot owns, because Duncan likes to bury shit. Like, yeah, you ever seen like in cartoons and shit, the dog that buries shit? Everybody's like, that's just a myth.
Not a myth. It's true. I have one.
Everything.
Yeah.
Shoes.
I found walking around the backyard one day. So I got a pretty big backyard. It's got hills and terraces. It's big. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on. Walking back in the back, and I found a half dug up loaf of bread that he had stolen off the counter, still in the foil wrapping that I wrapped it in, that he had buried in a hill and had like dug it out and opened it up and then realized that it was all gone to shit and then went, no, never mind. Walked away. I was like, this fucking dog, he just takes everything out in the goddamn and tries to bury it. He comes back in the house with stuff that we haven't seen for months. Like,
well, you know what my dad used to do? My dad used to take some of my toys and he would put them like in the attic, and then he would bring them back down. So it was like reintroduce them. It was like new toys.
Like
that's what he's doing. He's like, look, I see how much you love this now. What do you think about the EDC fixed blade trend, Elliot?
wait, there's an EDC fixed blade trend? Damn.
He knows.
I make a really great knife for that.
I have it. It's right over there.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. It's called Lackey. I'm making it for years. Great little knife. The Damascus version is really hot. Just saying. Oh, he's rummaging. Oh my god, that's a knife drawer. Holy shit, man. He's got a lot of knives. They're everywhere.
Everywhere.
I feel at home here.
Hmm?
I feel at home here. It's like my desk.
I have a 7-foot set of shelves, and there's knives
Just
on
knives.
everyone. And then there's also knives on the love seat, and there's an entire butcher block cabinet island over here that is just full of knives. But you thought I was getting your knife? I designed a really
What
good
a
knife for
dickhead.
everyone.
Wow.
I brought yours too. The Lackey, and I do have the Damascus one.
Yeah.
I actually bought this from you. This wasn't even something you gave me. I bought this one.
You paid me money?
Yeah, I paid you money for this one.
Shit.
It doesn't happen often. A lot of times I wind up carrying a prototype, and I just carry it long enough. I bring it back after the run has released, and I'm like, oh, here's your prototype back. And you're like, fucking keep it. Like, I got like 80 of the fucking finished ones here. I'm like, oh, my bad. I don't do that on purpose or anything.
Anyway, what do I think of the EDC fixed blade trend? So before I was making folding knives, I actually used to make small EDC folders all the time, or fixed blades all the time, because it was all that I could carry, because I did not make a folder yet. So I've been making like 3-inch bladed fixed blades. That was the beginning of my career. That was like all I was making for myself.
I love a good small pocket style fixed blade. Enough that I've got I have a, what do they call it? The utility clip that goes on the sheath. I carry it in my, like up and vertical in my pocket all the time. I just swap it out from whatever knife I'm carrying.
Yeah, if the pricing structure had worked, the utility clip was going to be the replacement for the
Soft loops?
IWD soft loops.
But it's not as cheap. There is
no.
Nowhere close.
No. We're like, ooh, that's gonna. We're gonna have to raise the prices, and we don't want to do that.
Was this? I don't know if it's a trend, but small fixed blades seem to be on the rise, though. Yeah, because people have realized how functional it is to have a small fixed blade. You don't have to manipulate a lock.
And they're inherently legal in a great many jurisdictions where a folding knife could get you in trouble.
Well, like we said, it's weird, the laws out here in California. Like folding knives out here, like everybody thinks California is just like this crazy, like, oh my God, you can't have a knife out there, my God. Actually, it's pretty lax. You can carry a folding knife at any size, and you don't have to worry about the concealment thing. Not like New York. Like not like New York, where you have to put it in your pocket so that it's exposed. So like you have to be that idiot that has your pocket clip on the inside with the knife out and then your shirt tucked in. But carrying a fixed blade in California is weird too. You can carry any size fixed blade unless you're in like Los Angeles or San Francisco. as long as it's not concealed. Like you just have to be able to see the sheath.
Yeah.
It doesn't even mean that it has to be fully exposed. Like as long as there's like
some of it.
like there's like 2 inches of sheath hanging out.
And personally, Mike, as a knife guy, when I see somebody rocking a big fixie on the belt, I'm like, "What's up, brother?"
Bro, I went to the kids' school and didn't even think about it. I had that big cold steel military R1 military classic, the R1 military classic. I go places with that hanging out, and I'm like, oh shit, I don't even think I like. People look at me and they're like, oh my god. I'm like, oh fucking, why am I worried? I'm not breaking the law. What's this?
Also, careful, I might stab you, bitch ass. What? What?
I have the Ulti Link as well. It's the have you seen that?
Probably.
The Ulti Link. It's not an Ulti clip. It's
It's more than ulti.
I have everything here. There's so much stuff here. So the
Really,
Ulti
there's
Link
so much crazy shit.
is this one that you can put on stuff, and it has a piece here. So you pull out on it, and you can just put it at whatever angle you want, and it just locks in.
Nobody can see what you're doing.
I'm showing you. I'm showing you. That was a test.
It's just for me.
That was a test run, so I can make sure that it worked. I was just making sure that it was working right.
Right.
Just testing it. So this is the Ulti.
Testing it.
It's got active camouflage, in case you didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
But you can basically pull out on that. This piece comes off, and then you can put it at any angle you want.
Oh, Michael, I don't like to pull out.
I'm gonna just leave that one be because I'd like to monetize this live feed.
Nah, that's not gonna happen.
No, it's actively monetized right now. I just checked.
Sorry.
You'd have think they just shut it down by now. So
Won't
what's
be for
everybody
long.
got? Huh?
Won't be for long.
Everybody. Okay. What's everybody got? Oh, we haven't done it. What's everybody got in pocket? Like, what's everyone carrying? What's their EDC right now? What's in your pocket?
Okay. All right. So we have the truck's prototype that we already saw, and then my personal sweaty butt stinger button lock
Nice.
with our brimstone carbon fiber.
And you would think that I'd be carrying a Ferrum Forge,
Of course not.
but I'm not
Of course
because I didn't prepare anything. I'm carrying my Terra Money Knives warning button. It's the one with the
Yeah, I'm aware.
integral pivot lock. It's a nightmare to take apart and clean up. I had to take it apart and clean it up. It got water in it.
I believe that is what I said the first time you ever showed it to me. I was like, wait. God, they must get a lot of customer service email. Oh my god.
Oh, it's well,
Okay.
especially considering that there's like no real way to like take it apart.
Enough apart.
I mean, I love it.
I'm looking at it and touching it.
The knife. We are wearing pants, by the way.
Wait,
Well, I'm wearing
pants were optional?
Well, it is warm in here. I mean, it's
It was pretty toasty today.
it got kind of warm today. Any of you guys that are in the Midwest, suck it. Guys, go and tell anybody if there's somebody that's live right now. Go tell them that they need to swing by after this. Get as many people here as probably. Let's see. So Zachary has got his Bark River North Country EDC 2. I have the same knife that he gave me. That's that really cool looking one with the dragon scales.
Your
Right there.
Your fucking finger was way too close to my face.
The one over there, the Bark River over there.
Aquidva?
Will be Jesus Christ. Will, I'm not reading. Like, I should just say everyone except Will answer this question. What are you carrying? Will do a pocket drop because he's one of the paying members. So he goes into the private Discord and he'll do a pocket drop and it's like fucking 12 knives. And I'm like, Jesus, Nico.
Oh, he's got a one of the CCKS Mordaxes.
Yes.
That must be nice. I don't have one.
It was here for a little while.
It's a guy who fucking designed. I have. I literally text Dave, the CEO of ProTech, and I'm like, "Hey man, so you're releasing a whole bunch of Mordaxes.
Could I get one?
Can I get one? Love to have one, please."
I sold my OG Mordax to Will. So he has not just that one. He has my OG Mordax because I never carried
I
it.
had somebody request an OG Mordax the other day through an email, and I was like, "Ooh, yeah, but That was from like 2015. I have no parts left for that. In fact, anytime any one of those things breaks and I have to fix it, it's a real pain in the ass.
You have to reach out to SDPM. Be like, hey,
guys.
you know, you still have those files. I need a
So
lock
about
scale.
that. It's real fun.
So when
Yeah.
when you have a knife come in
Yeah.
that you don't have spare, like, because there are
Yeah.
no more parts for like
It
say
happens.
the Master Blaster, because I know there's no more because we used them all to make mine and one other
No,
one.
I still got some, and I have had more lock scales made.
So you just reach out and have them make one.
No,
Just have them
nobody
Make,
makes one. Like,
I know this, but come on, let's
Nobody
keep it
makes just
straight for the
one.
for the normies. Guys, Coffee Brand Coffee, support the channel. There's the link. And I'm not joking.
it is good coffee. I don't even really like coffee, and I'm like, damn, this is really fucking good coffee.
I don't like flavored coffee. This is my favorite
It's
coffee.
delicious.
It smells so good. I have
Oh, we got the bourbon one. Ooh.
I have butterscotch toffee in the house. I haven't opened it yet because I have to film me opening it.
Oh, I showed it to Dr. Forsberg, and she was like, "Oh yeah, you can get that one for me next."
Get on that. It
I'm
supports me.
Get on that.
I make money on that.
Is there? Am I supposed to use a fucking code or some shit?
I'll send you the link again.
You probably should.
Well, every time your order refills,
It
so
does it again. Okay.
I still get it. Yeah.
Alright.
I actually complained enough that they were like, "Oh, let's get in on a call about this," and they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna get that taken care of for you. Like, that's not fair." I'm like, "Yeah, because like I'm bringing return customers, and I still have to just like bring the initial purchase,
Like this guy.
like this guy." So, Elliot, what's the largest folding knife you've designed? Was it the AFU?
I made a Navaja that came out the end of the handle, and I'm pretty sure it was 7 inches of blade.
Was one of those weird ones that there was not
Yes.
enough handle to
And
fold?
then it had a sheath. This was a custom.
I think I saw that on Arizona Custom
Yeah,
Knives.
this was a custom request way back in the day.
And I was
from
like, that's
Joe Kadoo.
retarded. Did he sell it on Arizona Custom Knives? Is that where it was?
But there's a lot of knives that I made for Joe Kadoo that, like, when he went through his divorce and shit, he had to sell a bunch of stuff off. Hey, it happens. I'm divorced too. Like, you know, he needs some cash money.
You're welcome for that, by the
way.
way. I'm like, you know what? I don't typically recommend divorce. I'm kind of a guy that's like, it's fixed shit. Like, I've been married for 22 years.
And none of us can figure out how.
I've been married for 22 years, and I'm like,
Mike's wife is a saint.
and I haven't been to jail, so she's also, she's bad. Like, fuck, kept me out of prison. But like, I'm like, you know what? Typically, I don't recommend divorce.
in
But there
your
are
case-
times in your case that I'm gonna say, absolutely, you should get a divorce,
GTFO.
and then talk you into the relationship you're currently in.
That's true.
I did. Okay. I am a very irresponsible and childish person, but I
That's
do.
a gentle way to put it, Michael.
I occasionally have got some fucking little nuggets of wisdom that I've acquired
From
through it.
time to time. Wait,
From a lifetime of poor decisions, I've picked up a little bit of knowledge.
there was one that you sent the other day that I was like, actually, that's pretty solid advice. I'm going to use that one from now on. But I can't remember what it is, so don't even.
A lot of times that happens, and it's like that scene from Old School where they're debating, and he goes, "Well, what happened? I blacked out." That's typically what it's like.
Yeah.
The Will Ferrell character. As a matter of fact, if like I've had more than one person watch that movie for the first time and look at me and be like, "Bro, that's you. That's fucking you." And you're Thad from fucking Blue Mountain State.
Oil changes for everyone.
That's a penis joke, guys. That's the story I was talking about from being at your house. I was coming over here to grab something. I forgot what it was.
We haven't even had that many beers yet, Mike.
No.
We're
I've
just
had a
getting
lot of head
old. We're
trauma.
getting older. It's getting old for the birds.
It's been a lot of head trauma.
Terrible.
Oh, there. That's what it was. I was gonna
Poor
grab this.
decision, Mike.
PDM. That's what's on my shirt.
I've known PDM for so many years, guys. Nothing surprises me.
And you guys know him as PDM Mike. Around these parts, we just call him Mike.
Mike. It's my buddy Mike. He does things.
This is so he was talking about. Zach was talking about his. That guy right there was talking about his North Country EDC too. This is the knife he's talking about. Well, mine is, I imagine, significantly more attractive.
From Bakriva?
Yeah.
Do you remember that guy? Mm-hmm. With his YouTube video? Fuck you, Bakriva! You remember this?
Yes. We watched it in the shop.
This was a thing back in the day. God, we're getting old.
Yeah. Fuck. All I can think of hanging out in the shop was the night that we all got drunk and we were watching the ostrich dance video on C. Frank on repeat.
Motherfucking
Sexy ostrich. If you guys have not seen that, you need to, like, not right now, but as soon as this video's over, I swear, as soon as this video's over, I will put a link to that video in the description of this so that you guys can find it. As a matter of fact, I may text. No, I don't want to text it into the group chat or into the comments right now because you all will start.
Then you'll all go to it.
And then you won't come back because you'll just watch it on repeat
again,
and laugh so hard you throw up. And Marble Olympics. The marble racing.
That was shockingly entertaining.
Like, I put that, I was like, guys, you got to watch this. And I grabbed Elliot's thing, and we were in the shop. It was me, you.
What the fuck,
It was
Mike?
me, you,
Come on. Like,
Nico. No, it was me, you, Nico, Dr. Vince.
What are we even doing right now, Mike?
And I put it on there, like, whatever. And, like, it, by, like, the third event,
You're
people were
rooting
like,
for fucking
like,
marbles?
fuck you, orange is the way to go. If you guys haven't noticed, Elliot is wearing
Let's go, Team Galaxy! What? They're fucking marbles.
right? And then he started the Marbula One, which was, he had actual Formula One commentators on with him, and I was like, this is fucking amazing. It's fucking amazing. And if you don't hurry up and eat those, I'm gonna eat them.
It's a great time to be alive. Okay. I mean, twist my fucking arm. I'm just trying to be polite.
I eat this shit all the time.
Shit.
Just get the fucking, what the fuck's wrong with you?
What? It got slippery.
That happens. What do you guys want to ask Elliot? So we were talking about you guys' EDC. Do you guys think a convex grind is a good all-purpose grind? I like a convex edge. I find a convex edge to be amazing.
It depends. No, he said all-purpose. Nope. I don't like it as much as a flat. I'm a big fan of flat grinds.
I like a good, like a deep hollow. Like something that comes down really thin behind the edge. Because it's a couple reasons. It's really easy to resharpen.
Like a big wheel.
It's
hollow?
gonna stay, huh?
A big wheel hollow.
Yeah, like what's
a
on,
12-inch
like what Riat did on the 229, the Chavez 229. It stays really thin for a long way back.
So team.
The Sabenza is nice because it's got the hollow, but it's a smaller wheel hollow, so it actually is thicker when you first buy it than it is after you sharpen it a couple times. After you sharpen it a few times, it starts to thin back out, and then you have that longevity of sharpening. But like the big hollow where you get that super, super thin is nice because even if you do sharpen it, you can sharpen it a bunch of times. It's not going to thicken back up, but it just fucking is so easy to sharpen and they just glide through everything. Downside is that they don't stay sharp quite as long as like a flat grind. What is this? Let's talk about tight tolerances. Stonehands says. Elliot, go on your tirade about tolerances.
I don't know if I have it in me.
You don't have it in you? I'll go grab beverages out of the refrigerator.
New bev time?
New bev time. Be right back.
I don't even know what tolerances mean anymore. It's crazy.
Okay, we may have to, considering we're only 44 minutes into this and there's only one beer left, we may have to deliver beverages to the house.
What?
What? What do you want? I only had 10 beers.
How many fucking years have we known each other?
There's a 7-Eleven right around the corner, and I have the app.
You know I'm a functioning alcoholic. Come on.
Functioning. Functioning. Let's see here. What about tight tolerances?
I don't know. What about
Machine Co. asks.
apparently?
Well, you had a tirade that you went on about everybody talking about tight tolerances, and that tolerances is like
Tolerances.
So tolerance can
Tolerances.
be tolerance
They're
is not a
tolerances.
real good definition of things unless you're like Bubbles there, Machine Co, who is working in the aerospace industry where you're dealing with set tolerances. A tolerance is basically a set parameter. That
How
you
much
have
can
to
you
be
fuck up before it's no longer a good
Exactly. And so your tolerances are like, this is what I have to have, and this is my plus minus. So when you're talking about like, oh, the tolerances are so tight, no,
You can have really tight tolerances.
you can
and
have
still
tight
a really
tolerances,
shitty
still have a
knife.
sloppy, shitty knife. Because if your tight tolerances just were poorly measured, like, okay, I stayed really tight on these tolerances, but we mismeasured the gap that we need for these bearings, I'm gonna have a lot of play and slop. So tolerance isn't actually a good. What was the word you said was a much better? Precise measurements and offsets. Was that what you said it was?
You're asking me to remember things that I've said years ago?
Yeah. I believe we talked about this the same day that I was talking about something and somebody was in the shop and I explained they had said something like a car drove by. I was like, oh, that's weird the way it does that when a car drives by. And I was explaining the Doppler effect and that's how radar guns worked. And they looked at me and you're like, you weren't fucking expecting that one, were you?
Didn't see that coming out of his
You didn't
mouth,
see
did
that coming out of his head. They turned and looked at you and was like, I think it was Big John.
Likely.
And he turned and looked at me and was like, what the fuck was that?
Do I have any new designs I can talk about?
He just showed you a prototype.
No, I don't think he's meant specifically in the Ferrum Forge brand.
Oh.
So here's where we're at, right? We're in a very curious time as a company because sales have been shit this year.
We were talking about this.
I mean, and it's not just me, it's everyone in the knife industry. We are all talking about the same shit. Sales are just way, way down. I unfortunately did numbers. I hate it when I do numbers. And we are down 74%.
Which, oddly, I told you is about what I am down on income on the YouTube channel.
So, like, stuff is just down. Like, look, despite all the gaslighting that you're hearing on the media and shit, like, we all can feel it. And we all know that, like, yeah, things in the economy are not great. It's not great. Like, we're not poor in my family, and yet we're still starting to really cut some costs. It's crazy.
How much free beer and food did Mike promise you to do this stream? He didn't know there was going to be food.
I didn't know
or
there was going to
beer.
be food, but I mean,
you just
every
always
time
assume.
I come here,
But
Michael's
that's-
usually doing something in there that's amazing. Sometimes Michael, put his big boy pants on and go make something yum yum.
What was it I made that time that you came over? Was it the pasta sauce that I made? You were like, oh yeah, I've taken some of that home. You came over with, it was a long time ago. It was when you dropped off Bobby that one time. You're like, oh, I'm taking some of that pasta sauce.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
And then you told me how good it was.
All right. We enjoy each other's cooking.
Yeah, we do. We do. And company.
That's
Cooking and company.
That's true.
I have
What?
misplaced an electronic device that's going to be used to
It's his vibrator.
the libations. we're
It's his vibrator.
no, I know where that was. I was about to like call me. Oh, there it is.
Oh.
Found it.
So I do have a whole bunch of models that are in designed. They're cute. They are cute for manufacturing. It's just like I literally don't have the money to put them in production right now,
Well, and
and I have no reason to.
the problem with the knife market is, and a couple people have said this, if you jump and if you put out a model now, like there's like I put out the Stonefish at absolutely the wrong time. I think that knife could have been much more successful if I had waited and put it out at a different time and judged the market better. But I was dealing with We Knife Company and they're like, no, we're going to release it and their pricing. I was like, everybody loves a fixed blade, but nobody wants a $300 fixed blade, guys. Like,
True.
and they didn't want to listen to me. And but putting a knife out now and
At the
then
wrong
having that
time.
at the wrong time with so many other companies that are putting out
A lot.
a lot.
Because-
You got so many new companies that are putting out good shit, and that's one of the things I say all the time. You've got We Knife Company, you got Civivi, you got Sencut, which basically they're all the same company. They're just different versions. I mean, they're trying to separate them, But then you got artisan.
And doing a poor job, I might say. I've had some serious conversations with their CEO. Like, what the fuck are you doing with this Sencut brand, guy? I'm like, are you moving massive quantities of it? No. Well then, why are you you're cannibalizing your own other brands?
They're
Not to
putting
mention
stuff
some of
out.
mine.
They're putting stuff out through Sencut that were very good. They're re-releasing models through Sencut and Civivi that are probably not going to perform as well as they did in the Wii brand, because they're just a little bit like more budget. But the fact is, there's so many companies, like even things like just companies that you're not seeing like right now, like QSP has got so many models in their catalog, and they keep putting out models, and companies are putting out models. If you release a knife now, and it's not the proper time because people can't afford, like right now, maybe maybe have it release or drop right around the time income tax returns and stuff come out where there's some expendable income. People are going to forget about that model, and it's going to sit at the very bottom of the stuff that got released on like Blade HQ.
Yep.
And the only time it's going to get any attention is when there's a major price drop, and the company that is manufacturing it is like, yep, well, it didn't do well, we're never going to release another one. And
We
then
gotta move it.
then the other companies are like, well, we got to move it, so you see a major price drop. So there's a timing thing, which you guys have been pretty good at up till real recently.
The struggle is real.
Like right now.
I mean, there's
Bubble says, I was going to say the sheer number of knives being offered now is cutting into everything.
Well, because there is a business principle that in when time to get lean, in fact, you should flood and put a whole bunch of stuff out and throw a bunch of crap to the wall and see what sticks. Like this is a known sort of way of finding something that's going to hit in the particular market space that you're in when you can't judge the market, because it's very hard to judge the market right now.
Would you rather have Coors Light or Pacifico in bottles?
That's a tough choice, Mike.
Running out.
Let's go with bottles.
Okay, cool.
Are they twist-offs?
I got bottle
Or do we
openers.
get to use
I got
bottle
bottle openers galore.
I think we all know how I like to open bottles.
Yes.
With my butthole. No.
Butthole bottles. What was that sound?
It's good.
It's bleeding.
Hemorrhoids? What are those? Those are bottle openers.
Elliot and I are Elliot and I are two of the only people I know that can not necessarily, I can't break one loose, but you and I have broken the seal with our thumbs on fucking non-twist-offs several times.
Back in the day when we had turbo calluses all over our fingers, it was a lot easier. Now it's
Now
not
it's
quite
not.
as easy.
Now it's not. Back when I was actually making knives.
Like I've been very, very busy the past year and into this year up till now. So almost 2 years, right? I've been super busy with like remodeling a house, doing life things, right? I have 4 kids now. 2 of them are mine. We made a Brady Bunch, and I do a whole bunch of shit for the kids.
It's more like Brady Bunch meets the Munsters. It's like Addams Family and fucking Brady Bunch. It's like what was the TV show with fucking the dude from Dallas and Suzanne Summers, and they had the kids and they all got together. It's like that, and then the Addams Family mixed. It's not quite Brady Bunch.
Okay, Mike. Whatever you say. But anyway, I coach a high school hockey team right now, which is hilarious. Takes a lot of patience. I'm the guy who builds all the sets for my daughter's drama productions. So I was doing that today. Like I do all the shit all the time.
Which is why we're doing this late. We were going to do it earlier, but he just was unavailable.
Build stuff.
We almost didn't do it at all. And you were like, oh, I can do 6.
But all of our knife making equipment is in my brother's garage, and I go there pretty often now. Every other day, just to pick up shit or like say hi. He's got a new baby. She's a year old. She's real cute. I think she's been on her Instagram maybe once. He's trying to keep that kid off the internet. Anyway. Yeah, so the amount of time that I get to actually like make a knife by hand is almost nothing at this point. And I'm kind of looking forward to a day when I get to actually go grind some shit it's funny. I remember a time in my career when I was like, God damn it, I don't want to grind another blade ever again. And now it's starting to come full circle. Well, where I'm like, man, I really like to grind some shit. Cut some steel the other day. I welded up a beautiful railing for my deck, and I was cutting metal, and I was like, miss that smell.
I miss making knives. I know that having done a couple here, that the nerve damage and everything, the beer's on its way, by the way.
Yes.
It's just like the nerve damage and everything in my shoulders just too much. I just can't do it.
Well, like the older you get, right, the more you realize the terrible choices you made in your youth.
Right?
Like I absolutely have arthritis in my hands already. I can feel it, especially in my index fingers. 100%.
Carpal tunnel.
I wake up in the morning and I can only bend my finger like this far. I'm like, oh, that's great. That's gonna be real cool in the next 10 years. Why are you pointing at me? I just can't close my finger.
I've got it in my spine. That's pleasant. You wake up in the morning. I told you, I wake up in the morning. I'm like, what the fuck was I dreaming about? Like, what does this hurt? Like, what did I fucking do? Like, was I moving furniture in my sleep? I feel like I was in a rollover car accident. When life gets complicated, the simple task becomes the ones that are therapeutic.
It's true.
Yeah, it is. That's why I miss sharpening.
Words of wisdom.
Same shit. I got so much nerve damage. Like sharpening a knife is just miserable. And I love sharpening.
He really does love sharpening. I can attest. That is a true
I bought a knife from you, and I was like, "Don't put an edge on it." You're like, "You're a fucking
what?
It's 20 CV. You sadist."
No, I'm gonna do it myself.
It's fucking. It came out great. I was like, I was excited too. He was like, "You're like, you're a fucking weirdo." Hiking with Viking. You need to publicly answer the Ronald and Wendy video. I'll send it to you later. Ronald McDonald and Wendy's video. It's something to be. It's a sight to behold.
Wait a minute. Is this the one where like this king and this queen, where the Burger King marries Dairy Queen?
No.
No.
No, this is Ronald McDonald and Wendy in a fucking full on like Steven Seagal fucking Matrix type fucking combat, fucking hand to hand combat. I was like, and then it ends, and I was like, well, no, that wasn't the end.
No more.
But where can I find the full video? And I sent that to David. David has become a public or a premium member. Well, he was a premium member before.
Is this one for me?
Yes. Okay. I brought that for you.
Wait. Do
you want to do it in the echo?
Yeah. What the?
Huh?
What the fuck else would we do?
Okay. It's just.
That sounds like happiness. Yes, it does.
Of happiness, Mike.
Daddy beats me.
So I was in Chicago for Dr. Vince's wedding. So you know I got schmammered at that shit.
Did you do anything embarrassing?
Fuck if I know.
I don't fucking remember.
But we woke up the next day at like 2.
Does that even qualify as the next day, or is that like the next day and a half later?
I was like, oh god, babe, did you get as fucked up as I? She's like, yes.
We go back to bed now. I'm like, okay.
My favorite is when you wake up and you're like, first thing you see is pavement. You're like, this is gonna fucking suck.
Oh no, not again.
Oh fuck. Why do I hear traffic? Oh, because I'm on the sidewalk. Fuck me. Where are my pants?
So anyway, I tell that story
so I could tell you this one.
So that I could tell you that your hypothesis that really what you're doing is you're just borrowing happiness from the next day.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
when you wake up after a night of drinking, you're in a happiness deficit.
Okay, so I explained this to Elliot.
It's a good theory.
So as you drink,
Yeah.
you're only allowed this is my theory on what a hangover is. As you drink, you only have so much happiness in a day, and especially if you're drinking in the evening, you've already used up all the happiness you were allotted for that day. But if you drink beer, it's like a credit card. You're borrowing happiness from the next day. And if you borrow enough, you wake up in a happiness vacuum, a deficit, if you would. And it's just not a good place to be. It's an unpleasant place. Happy haptics, Mike. This dude looks like a younger you, Trippy.
Fuck.
Hey, you know what? I told Zoidberg, I was like, I got news for you. We look enough alike that like this is what you're gonna get when he hits 50. And she was like, sold. Okay. She's like, I'm not gonna complain about it. That's not too bad. It could be worse.
But it could be better.
I think you're gonna limp a lot more though than I do. Well, I don't know. I just
Ooh,
blew my
probably,
knee up.
probably.
We both fucked our knee up at the same time.
Very limpy.
It's my knee is
Oh
yours any better?
I fucking wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh my god, what have I done? I didn't even do anything yesterday. And yet then I still hop on the ice and fucking teach kids how to not suck at hockey. And then I go play fucking hockey. Jeez, I play so much goddamn hockey. It's not even funny right now.
It'd be nice to be able to have a hobby. I spend about fucking 16 hours a day locked up in this fucking garage.
In fact,
whether it's
I
hot or
actually
cold.
did miss a hockey game to come here.
You missed a hockey game the night that we came over, and like
Yeah.
his wife. So he invites a bunch of us over. He's like, "Well, I gotta go. I got a hockey game." She's like, "Wait a second. I canceled my game so that we could do this, and you're gonna get to go play hockey." And I looked at him. I was like, I think you should take the hint and realize that you're not playing fucking hockey tonight.
And it was at that moment that I realized I fucked up. Then I went, oh, you're right. I'm not going.
Oh, you're right. I think I'll cancel that game. What's
I
that?
shall not
It's a
go.
compliment. Mike's a hunk. There you go. See, I'm not an unattractive chode. How many times have we been to pool hall? and
That's
fucking-
true. It's
like Chris is like, I don't fucking get
it's a
it.
thing to behold.
Like people don't believe me when I say it, but
Okay,
then like
yeah.
there's other people that have witnessed it, like you
It's
and
crazy,
Nico. Like it's
yeah.
fucking weird. Like fucking chicks just fucking dig him. Right? It's weird.
You
I
can
don't-
get a shirt that says "Chicks Digging Me" with that picture on it.
The tongue out and everything. No, we go to the pool hall and fucking I'd be like, guys, I gotta go back to the shop. Why? I was like, see the fucking blonde at the fucking bar, and they're like, again? I'm like, yeah, I could go fucking hide. I don't want to test my willpower too fucking much. We the best was the redhead. When we were playing pool, me, you, and Chris were playing pool, and this
Oh my god!
the fucking now I have to tell you, this chick was incredibly attractive, and she like Chris is like, as I walk over, Chris is like, oh, of course Mike's bringing the fucking hottest chick in the fucking bar over. She was fucking hot, and so
We displayed so much restraint that night,
right,
so much willpower.
I displayed even more because I went back and she was still there, and I sat down and she's like drunk, trying to climb up my lap and shit, and the bartender, fucking Lila, she's like, I'm sitting there and she's like, oh, you should come back to our place. We're going to go back to my place, me and my roommate. And I was like, I'm married. I'm the most married person you'd ever want to meet. And Lila was looking at me. She's like, God damn.
Jesus.
Okay. And then she starts to hop up in my lap and be like, I don't believe in marriage. And Lila leans over into my ear and she goes, what do you got now, champ? And I was like, I got to go.
I gotta get the fuck out of here.
I had to fuck
I
out of
gotta
here
leave.
because
I gotta leave now.
I clearly
Right now.
need to exit this facility.
I gotta text all my friends right now.
I gotta go.
Tell me I need to not go home with this redhead.
I need to go back to my house.
And kiss my wife and
No,
tell her
I-
I love her.
Went back home and beat my dick like it owed me money. What's that noise? Shut up and go back to sleep.
You don't want to know.
I don't know. I'm
Unless
watching.
you're helping, you don't want to know.
I'm watching porn on the big TV. With the volume all the way down. I'll tell you, the best thing that has ever happened.
Oh boy.
The best thing has ever happened in the world of being a man who's going to bed and knows that he's not going to have anyone touch him but him
Mhm.
is the headphone jack on a Roku
Oh.
or on a fucking PS4 or PS5 where you can stream things.
Hmm.
It
See, Mike, I don't really have that problem.
Yeah, I've been married for 22 years. There's times that we like, do you want to have sex or just go to bed and maybe have a dream about sex? I think that's where I'm at right now. It's as a comedian, I heard a comedian say it. It's not that I'm not interested in sex. It's just that at this point in my life, I'm as interested in cookies as I am in sex.
We are a very active couple, if you know what I mean. But there are definitely nights when it's like, hey, do you just want to
Like, call it. You want to play? You want to go play checkers?
you just want to watch hockey, snuggle, and pass out? Cause fuck, I'm beat. Usually that's a yes. Sometimes I get a you gonna give me what I want? I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, well, I'll do that. Yeah, I will step up to the plate.
Y'all, please don't forget to Hulk smash that like button. I haven't seen anyone drop a really long chat.
What? No.
Well,
why would
because
you-
it happens and then people get upset because I'll make
Yeah,
these
why would
big
you
long
invite that
chats.
shit? That's
Huh?
terrible.
Well, they put it and then it bogarts the screen and everything. You can see it. Well, I have it set up so that CloudBot will take that chat and be like, "Hey, make your chat a little fucking shorter." Unfortunately, it's a bit obnoxious about it. It's just like, oh, you're like fucking way too many characters in that chat, so you're fucking done.
And yes, Zach, this stream did take a turn.
It usually does. It's me
It
and Elliot.
always does.
It always does.
Always
It's me and
does.
Elliot. Like, fuck, we just ordered beers, so this might go a little long.
Hey-o.
Hey, yo.
My wife's out of town. I got nothing to do tonight.
You don't have it. Did you leave Duncan at the house unattended?
Yeah. Look, he's been... Oh, fuck, where's the wood? He's been a pretty good dog lately and hasn't fucked up anything that I have discovered. Because I might not know for another month or two until he unburies it, and then I go, God damn it. That's what I went.
So I was telling his wife. So Duncan has a tendency to eat socks and stuff, and apparently he had to have emergency surgery once.
Yeah, that was cool.
So
10 grand later.
10 grand later, my friend's dog. My friend Kevin, I was like maybe 20, 21. So he was married, had a wife and kids, and I was over at his house, and their dog was out in the yard, and I was like, Kevin, your dog is he was out there, you could see him, like he's trying to shit, like fucking. I was like, your dog's got something hanging out of his butt. And he's like, what? And we're drinking beer. And we're looking at it, and he's like, it was kind of like this. We're like, is that? And so he gets like, I gotta check this. And the dog's like scratching his ass, and he like, gets up and he walks over and he sees it and he says, well, shit. And he puts his foot down, and the dog starts walking away and just walking this thing, and just shivering and shaking and I was like, what the fuck? And he looked down, he's like, it's a goddamn hand towel. It was an entire hand towel. And not like a piece of a hand towel, not a seam from a hand towel, an entire fucking hand towel. And I'm like, how the fuck did he pass that? Like, how did it make it through? Like, how did it get all the way down through there?
The amount of crazy shit that I've seen that dog eat, my dog. I've literally watched it eat rocks.
Chunk does that.
And I'm like, what are you doing, man? He's like,
We have no iPhone stands anymore. Chunk will find an iPhone stand,
delicious.
and you'll come downstairs and you're like, well, I found a roll of toilet paper and the last of the fucking iPhone stands. And there's plastic and toilet paper. And he's just looking at you like, look what I did. See it?
I did so many things.
I did so
guys.
many things. You left me unattended for 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I shit you not.
Mother of God.
Fucking Christ. Did you guys see the post on Instagram that showed the guy leaving the Marine Corps ball, and he had lost his entire undershirt and top and was on crutches? He did not arrive at the Marine Corps ball on crutches. He left on crutches. I was like, man, I haven't been to it's been a long time since I've been to a Marine Corps ball, and I was like, it's nice to see that the Corps has just held up their end of having the fucked up party. Like the Navy ball, there's a lot of drunken, disorderly shit that happens at the Navy ball. But I've been to a couple Marine Corps balls, and I gotta tell you, if you have never been to a Marine Corps ball, fuck the Army ball, fuck the Navy ball, the Air Force, if you were in the Cub Scouts, you're closer to being in the military than the Air Force. Go to a Marine Corps ball once. Just one fucking time. And you'll be like, What the fuck? Is this a work release program from a fucking prison? What the fuck just happened here? Are you guys drinking Pruno? What the fuck happened?
Likely.
It's nuts. It's nuts. Like, I have never had as much fun at a military function as I did at a Marine Corps ball. That I remember. And I'm pretty sure I may have a police record now. You leave the Marine Corps ball and you remember it, you didn't do it right. You were the designated driver. Or the fucking duty driver for the command. Like, that's it. Like, those are the only people that ever remember it. I don't fucking remember leaving the Marine Corps ball. Grog. There you go. See? My jarhead buddy kicked in. Let's see here. Yeah, the Marine Corps ball is a thing. It's a thing of beauty. And you walk in, you're like, the Navy ball, they're all like, okay, well, it's open bar for like 2 hours, and then after that, it's like everything. You walk into the Marine Corps ball, and they're like, nah, man, everything. And you're like, well, fuck, that looks expensive. Is that free? They're like, yeah, do you want the bottle or a glass? And you're like, oh, I'm going to have a good time tonight. It's like coming to an old school fucking saloon in the fucking Wild West. Just gonna give me the bottle? Yeah, fuck it. I mean, it saves you the trip back. We're not getting paid. You want to give me a tip? Just give me like a $30 tip right now. You're like, fucking bet.
Here you go.
Uh-oh. Hey, it's on its way. He will arrive in 4 minutes, and that was 1 minute ago. So there's still one more of these in there. But it's not a race. Not yet anyway. There's more beer on the way. That's not a race yet.
I do have to drive home at some point, too.
You have a Tesla. It does it for you.
That's good.
Yeah. Walking up to a random hotel miles away, classic. You're waking up in a random hotel miles away, classic. Yeah. I woke up. I woke up in a backyard after the Marine Corps ball in Okinawa.
You know, Michael, I had never woken up in a place I didn't recognize.
You have not done your life right. You have not lived properly until you've woken up and you open your eyes. You're like, where the fuck am I at?
I prefer to think, Michael, that I have good base code, and so like I naturally find my way back to my domicile.
I woke up in a hotel in the Philippines, in a city that was not the city that I fucking went out drinking in. And when I say in a different part of the city, I mean not in a different part of the city. I had gotten a hotel room in Manila, and I woke up in Angeles City with a tattoo and a female midshipman. And last thing I remember, the sun was still up. I woke up the next morning, and I was like, this isn't our hotel room. And my cousin Chad opens up the curtains. He goes, yeah, what about this? And I was like, that's not fucking Manila. And he goes, yeah. And then I started scratching my arm, and I was like, what the fuck is... It wasn't this one. It was this one. I was like, what the fuck? Oh, motherfucker, what the fuck is that? And he goes, you think that's bad? Like, I was scratching. I was like, what the fuck? That hurt. Ah, he goes, yeah, take a look at this. He's got his foot up on a table, like the desk in the hotel room. Just fucking smoking a cigarette, drinking a beer, and he goes, look at this. And he pulls up his pant leg, and he has a shark with a big toothy grin, dreadlocks, and a crown. And underneath it says, we be jammin'. And I was like, the fuck did we do? And then I remembered that we had left the ship and went out with our friends, Clayton and Mikey. And I was like, where's Schmidt and Serena? And he goes, I don't fucking know. And about that time, I hear down the hallway, Emler, Meta, just yelling. I was like, oh, they're here. All right, we're good. Okay, we're good. And I was like, this is one you know that you've had a bender. And you wake up, you're like, the fuck day is it? like I gotta, what day is it? We have to go back. At some point, we have to go. I don't remember this one either. I have to go. Yeah, I know. Our beer is here. I know.
It's the beer guy.
I know. It's the beer guy. Beer guy's here.
Beer's here.
Beer's here.
Yeah, the beer's here.
What are you guys doing?
What's going on?
Chilling, man.
Doing a live feed for my
I just need
YouTube
to scan
channel.
an ID. Sorry about
stuff.
that.
No, it's cool. You know, that's why we ordered it.
There's sometimes when the 20th century is wonderful. Just wonderful.
Never heard. What are you guys wrapping up the football?
See? Just get beer delivered to you. It's great. We're living. We're living.
You need the back?
Yeah. It has a-
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, 'cause the last time we did it.
Now, see, I wasn't in the military, so I don't have any crazy military stories. But I did play junior hockey in Canada, where
No problem. Take it easy.
we used to
Like, eventually we have to wrap this up.
eventually. Where we used to go do real dumb shit. This is why Mike and I are actually friends, because we have a same dumb shit level. I like how you open that like a savage, Mike. In a fucking room filled with knives, and he just tears open the box.
Hey, that's if you've got good strong hands, why not do it like
Fucking
that?
man.
Because when people see you do that, you're like, that's thick cardboard, bro. That's not that bullshit that like gets.
That's the cardboard.
Bro, that's. I'm trying to. What? We were talking about our levels of dipshittery.
Those levels are high.
Huh? Those levels. We got higher levels of bullshit that we've done than most people.
Yeah. I'm always amazed I'm still alive. Always. Because when you haven't seen like a friend in a long time, right, you get bullshit and you get into like you start telling stories about some of the dumb shit you've done together, and then that parlays off into dumb shit that you've done on your own, and then you like remember things that maybe you'd kind of forgotten about for a decade or two, and you're like, oh yeah, I did that.
Do you remember that time you got hit by a truck out behind the fucking sushi bar, and you're like, oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, that fucking hurt. You're like, finish what story?
Remember that time we lit that guy on fire? What?
Can neither confirm nor deny that I was fucking present at the burning down of a fucking KFC. And when I say, like, there was a fire, I don't mean like, oh, it was like, oh, there was a trash can fire. No, like, when the fucking fire department finally showed up, the only thing they could do was spray down the adjoining buildings so that they didn't get involved in the conflagration.
I don't think I've ever done that.
I didn't do it. Allow me to once again, because I don't know what the statute of limitations is in Japan. I was there. I also lit a dumpster on fire and pushed it down a hill at a fucking ski resort. Jägermeister. I shouldn't ever drink Jägermeister.
Well, who hasn't done that, Mike?
I,
The old flaming dumpster rolling down the hill.
okay. Like, they kicked us out because of it, but I was like, hey, we were on our way out because I had been told numerous times that I had to keep being told that I couldn't go down the ski slopes naked. They're like, you have to put your clothing on. After the dumpster, they're like, yeah, we're going to ask you not to stay here. And I'm like, bro, we're like 7 hours away from anywhere that we know anyone, and you just got us kicked out of our hotel. And I'm like,
Yeah.
He was telling a story when I left. What story were you telling?
What? Was I telling a story? I was just saying that like I haven't done military dumb shit, but I've done junior hockey dumb shit.
Which is surprisingly similar.
They're very similar.
Very similar.
You get a bunch of young men together, and then you let them loose in the world, and you get the booze involved, and that's when shit gets weird.
They didn't really let us loose on the world. They were like, hey, got to be back by midnight.
This is true. I do remember, like, well, guys, we gotta go. It's 11:30, and we've got a half an hour drive, so we've gotta go. Who's driving, by the way? Oh, fuck, it's none of us. Oh, shit. Well, this is gonna get weird.
I know Mike is a smart dude, but it always surprises me when he throws out them $10 words. Yeah.
Indubitably.
Indubitably. Well, like I said, I was explaining the Doppler effect to a dude, and they looked at Elliot and were like, what the fuck? I was not expecting that. Or when we go to a knife show and I start speaking to the Japanese knife makers in Japanese, and they're like, and I forget this is what I look like, and they're like,
Do the thing.
those aren't twist tops.
Yeah, that's fine. Do the thing.
What thing?
The echo. Put
Oh,
the
oh,
echo
oh,
on.
oh, 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 oh. Oh, that sounds better. That sounded good. But I have bottle openers over here.
What for?
Because my ring doesn't do that. Last time I tried it, I'm like, yeah, that hurt.
Way to go, guns.
Because, well, on top of that, I've got so many bottle openers I like.
It's true. I do a preponderance of bottle openers.
I have a bottle opener collection. That's one of my favorites.
It's not so bad.
The Klein Tools. It actually has a part number. Like you can order that from Klein Tools.
You
can,
need bottle openers.
You can hand me one of those. I know. I have the sword and I have the
Would
cleaver.
you like me to open that for you?
No, I got it because I like using my bottle openers.
Whatever.
As Mike towers over them, speaking with impeccable grammar and pronunciation. Yes, I have a Ferrum Forge. What was the bottle? What was the sword? What did you guys call the sword bottle opener?
I've made a couple of different dumb shit bottle openers over the years. We had
I have the beverage cleaver from Wasteland's Oddity.
we had the dick tool. I came across on my phone. I was looking through shit. I'm like, every now and then, it's good to go back down memory lane and remember things that you should or shouldn't have done. And I found a video that we shot for the dick tool. Oh no, it was in a YouTube video where we were talking about the dick tool, and no one could keep a straight face. Do you remember Tony Diamond? Tony Diamond was filming it.
I remember the stories about Tony Diamond. I remember seeing him. In a couple of YouTube videos, but I never met him. But I do remember the badass fucking aprons.
Yes,
Yes,
we made our aprons. that
They
we
have
still
some
wear to this
badass
day.
aprons.
They're fantastic aprons. In fact, I haven't talked to that guy in a while. I wonder what he's up to.
I don't know, but I was telling somebody about my first encounter of meeting Dwayne Dwyer.
Those are always fun stories.
It was a short story. I don't remember a lot of it. It was at the Warrior Expo here in San Diego, and I woke up in his hotel fucking with my boss like, hey, man, are you coming to work? And I was like, bro, I'm pretty sure I'm still at the fucking venue.
I don't even know where I am.
I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm still at the fucking Warrior Expo. And everything tastes like tequila. And smells like tequila. Apparently, we were snorting tequila up our noses.
That doesn't surprise me.
It does not surprise me at all.
Not shocking at all.
Which, have you... Okay, so some of you guys may have heard this. Have you heard this? So I'm in a couple Facebook groups. And I like Dwayne, but I do realize that Dwayne is, like, pissing away his business. Dwayne...
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, drinking. He's basically drinking it away. So Dwayne has really, 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 really pissed a bunch of people off because he's got knives coming in that have been in for repair and things like that for like fucking 5-6 years. There's no movement. But the big one was there's a couple guys that have knives on his books that have, well, I mean, you guys have an excuse.
Do we?
Yeah, you guys make a lot more knives than Dwayne does. You guys made a lot more knives per run than Dwayne ever did.
That's true.
Like, you made more knives in a run than Dwayne typically made in a year. You were doing that quarterly. So at any rate, there's a couple of guys in this Facebook group and that have ordered knives from him. This was the big one that really pissed a bunch of people off. So they bought knives, like they paid for knives. They're on his books, and have seen a knife exactly like what they've ordered come up for public auction on his website 3 times. They're like, you made the knife that this guy paid you for 3 times. And it's like, well, I already have your money. And it's all, if you've ever dealt with Dwayne, it's all like you pay up front and it's non-negotiable. It's like non-refundable. You can't change your mind. You can't back out, which I get. Like, you got to pay for parts and shit, but like 5 years later, they haven't got their knife, but he's seen the same knife that he ordered like 3 times come up for auction. Eventually that gets to fucking pissing you off.
Yep.
And there's one guy that sent a knife in to Dwayne for repair. It's been there for 3 years, and Dwayne is like, I don't even know what happened to it.
Mike, it's the quintessential downfall of every custom maker. Like, this is just what happens over time, right? So you become popular, right? And then everyone wants your shit, and so you're like, cool, you take all these orders, and then you realize, oh fuck, I've got to make all these goddamn knives. And then you've got dealers like throwing silly money at you.
Yeah.
And so you're like, well, I gotta fill these big orders first, right? That's big money. I need that.
Yeah.
Daddy wants a car, or Daddy wants his lady to have new boobs, or whatever. In case of Dwayne.
There are, and I know that there's a couple makers that we know You said that, and I'm like, I know exactly who he's talking about because they're fucking assholes, and I have an email from them that proves it.
I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I'm not really shitting on these people either. Like, I get it.
Well, here's the thing. Knife makers, I've noticed
get
that
it.
knife makers, with the exception of a few, you, Jim Skelton, Mike over at Gavco, Jeff over at Crazy Thumbs.
Crazy Thumbs? You mean
Tough Thumbs? Yeah, sorry. Typically, custom knife makers are just horribly inept at dealing with finances. Like, I got some money.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking spend it.
Yeah. That's pretty much how it goes.
And there's a handful of notable exceptions, like I said, and as much as it pains a lot of people when I talk about Mick Strider, actually did a pretty good job of not being completely retarded. That's why he and Dwayne are no longer partners. He's like, all right, this is getting retarded. I can't.
Mick also he's got some support crew, right? He's got Josh. Right, I have Chris.
Josh Lee, yeah, you got Chris. Which, in case you guys don't know, Chris was born as a 38-year-old banker.
Yes.
And has just only gotten older.
You seen him lately?
Yeah, I saw him at your house,
weekend.
yeah.
He looks so fucking old. Not even
Right?
So old. He's all gray and shit now. I'm like, he's this old man, River. Calm down. He's 6 years younger than me. It's wild.
I fucking definitely
And, like-
commented. I looked at
and,
him.
like,
I
he
was like,
doesn't
bro, why
drink
do
or
I look
anything.
younger than you? I'm like, why? We'll talk about that after. It has a lot to do with the marriage,
Personality
the
type.
personality types of people in that household, and his personality, like,
So
completely stressed all the time. I'm like,
So
fuck,
fucking-
bro,
Calm
you could
down.
shove a diamond up his ass
Calm
and end up with a chunk of coal up his ass and wind up with a diamond. I told you guys my medication I take fucks with my ability to
Yeah,
communicate.
that's what it is.
It
It's
is.
the medication, Mike. Yeah, that's what it is. I've already got a sweet facial scar.
Yeah. Did you guys see his new scar? Oddly enough,
Another one.
when you want to joke about it, you have a left knee that's all fucked up. I have a right knee that's all fucked up. You have that big scar right there. Like, can you see my big scar that runs mine's faded quite a bit, but there's a big.
Yeah, it's faint now. Yeah.
We're like polar. We're like the opposites. Yeah, that's I got my face slammed into the pavement by a bunch of fucking angry Japanese people outside of a bar, and I shouldn't have fucking run my fucking mouth.
And Mike learned a valuable lesson that night, which
Don't
he
stand
promptly
up-
forgot the next morning.
Don't stand up for a fucking poor waitress that's getting shoved around by fucking Yakuza wannabes, and you tell them to get the fuck out. And then you leave like, there's no way they're gonna be waiting in the parking lot for an hour, and you're like, I was fucking wrong.
I was wrong.
So how many little Japanese guys that take to kick the shit out of me? 6. 6. I don't know if that's the required number, but that's how many they were using. Remember I came back and I was all fucked up? Let's see. I miss the giggle grass. I miss the giggle grass too, but I'm trying to get a federal job, and I quit smoking weed.
What?
Yeah, I quit smoking weed like months ago.
Jesus.
Yeah.
How are you living?
Day to day.
One day at a
One
time.
day at a time. Truth can't be considered shitting on someone. There's been a couple of like knife makers that popped off, and then you're like out of nowhere, you're like, what the fuck happened to these guys?
Yes. They're in. I mean, I'm getting to be not so young in this knife gig. I've seen a lot of people come and go. A lot of people come and go.
Bodiger had Bodiger actually had some really good designs, and he was doing good work, and then just kind of fucked it all away.
Fell off the face of the planet.
Every once in a while, I see stuff from him.
No way.
Yeah.
Way.
Yeah, but like when something would get fucked up in the shop, you're like, I got all Bodigered up.
Just Bodigered the shit out of that.
it was a lot like from Kingpin. Hey, you got Munson. The worst thing that happened was fucking Bodiger left, and then I started getting blamed for it. Before it was like Bodiger got blamed for everything, and like I'd walk into the shop and like fucking watch out, Chris is pissed. Like, why? He's like, well, I left the shop unlocked, but I blamed it on Bodiger. He's like, I talked him off the ledge. You're gonna be able to still have your key, but like Bodiger's
Never
not.
did such a thing.
And like Bodiger was like, I probably did it. Like, I don't know. I'm a retard. Who knows? I probably did it. I was like, then Bodiger left, and then every time that fucking something would happen, I'd walk in and Chris is looking at me. I was like, and I'd look at Elliot. Elliot's like, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna eat this one. And I fucking he'd walk out and fucking be all pissed and blame me for something. And Elliot's like, yeah, I fucking did that, but you know how this works. I'm blaming you.
Shit rolls downhill, my friend.
Shit rolls downhill, my friend, and you ain't paying the bills. I was like, he's like, don't worry, I'll calm him down.
We'll talk about it. It'll be fine.
Mike's not allowed to fucking shop anymore. Elliot's like, if I could talk.
Hey, man, we don't need. We don't make any rash decisions here, okay?
I did do shit though. Like I did do shit, but I did shit intentionally. I did shit to drive you. So his brother had a pair of parallel pliers. This was the best for weeks on end. Like I know it was just driving me nuts. Had a pair of parallel pliers. They each had a set. Chris had the good set. You had the fucked up set.
Well, fucked up is a strong word, Mike.
They were off center.
I bent them a little.
Bent them a little bit, twisted on something. And so I would take Chris's parallel pliers and I'd move them. I wouldn't move them I wouldn't do like I obviously moved them. I would move them from where he left them to right behind him or somewhere adjacent, somewhere close enough that it would obviously be someplace that he possibly could have done it. Enough to make him go, did I fucking move? Like, what the fuck? And so one day I walk in, Chris walked out, he walked in to go to the post office. And I walk up to Chris's workbench area at the fit up table, and I took his parallel pliers and I put them on the workbench behind him, and I see Elliot go, was that you're the one that's doing that? Like he's losing his fucking mind. Like I would do it every day. Sometimes multiple times a day. It was the first time Elliot saw me do it. I picked him up and I just moved him like 8 feet away. Like within his, all he would have to have done would be maybe roll backwards and turn and put it on the bench behind him. And I was like, yeah, I've been doing that for weeks. And he goes, he's absolutely losing his fucking mind. He thinks he's got Alzheimer's. Like, he had the seizure and now he thinks that he's got permanent brain damage.
I'm not helping it either. I'm like, well, I obviously didn't touch him, Chris. I wouldn't do that shit to you.
So Chris had at that point, he had the one seizure.
Mm-hmm.
And they put him on seizure medicine and shit. I was just moving shit every once in a while. I was just moving shit on his little shit, like not real far, just like moving it just far enough that it wasn't right where. And he would come back and he'd go, "The fuck did I put that? Fuck did I put my T8 driver? Elliot, did you grab my T8?" And Elliot's like, "Man, I don't borrow your fucking tools."
Shit, man.
And I was over there and he's like, "Mike," and I was like, I bought my own drivers. Like, I bought my own bit drivers because you guys you would get upset that I would move shit around the shop. And so I have my own stuff. And he's like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Is that it over there?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck. What the fuck? Why would I put it there?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
That's weird.
That's weird. And I'd go back into the grinding room and I'd turn on the fan. I'm like, yeah.
It's like having two older brothers.
Well, that's what you have said for years. Like, "Oh, you're the older brother that I never wanted." Your dad said you're like the son that I fucking tried to give away. Your mom and dad were like, the way you and Elliot interact, it's like you are fucking brothers. Pretty good. There's 21 people here. Guys, there's 21 people here. I got one super chat. You guys can't give Elliot a super chat.
What's this?
Super chat's where they just donate cash or join the membership. Like, guys, if you haven't joined the membership, we have a lot of fun in the membership. I'm gonna send you a link to the Gilded server, the public Discord, where you can go in and just fuck around and drop fucking goofy shit, pictures and stuff. It's just like
my
Discord.
spare time, man.
You'll make time
We
for this.
just talked about how I have no fucking time. Where is my time?
You don't sleep. It's okay.
Yeah, but look, I gotta
What?
be honest. I've got a new guilty pleasure.
What's that? Shorzy?
Naked and Afraid has become my new guilty pleasure.
Oh yeah, we were talking about this. You
It's-
guys, I've never watched it. I've never watched Naked and Afraid. Mainly because, well, it's on public TV, so it's censored. I'm like, it's just Afraid. They're not actually. Like, they could have easily just done it with underwear and afraid. I'm in my underwear and I'm fucking scared, and then it sounds like a prison movie.
But like we, as people who go or have gone to knife shows, like I know some people that have been on that show at this point. And so like I know that guy EJ.
Yeah.
I know
Kayla
Kayla
Cummings.
Melissa Miller.
Melissa-
like, I know these
yeah.
people. So
Melissa-
it's like really fat. I'm like, oh, this is why you're famous. Okay.
Guys, I got news for you. Like, Melissa looks really good on her TikTok and stuff. She's not as ultimately attractive as I expected when I met her in person. Sorry, just throw that out there for you. Just letting you know. I mean, she's not like ugly, but I was expecting more when I met her in person.
You would not kick her out of bed for eating crackers, and you know it.
Hey, the red crackers! Sorry. My bad.
That's a setup.
I got news for you. Have you ever eaten crackers in bed? I'll
Yeah.
kick anybody out of bed for eating crackers.
I do that. I do eat crackers in bed. You know why?
You have a vacuum?
No. I don't give a shit.
Because I like sleeping at the beach.
I like it.
You ever eat a nature green fucking honey and oats in bed?
No.
Fucking Christ,
no,
you're gonna
that's
get Jesus
no,
Christ.
you
Those are
can't do
fucking
that.
horrid.
No,
Fucking
there's
crumbs
there are
everywhere.
lines and that we don't cross.
May as well just shovel pea gravel into your
You
bed.
don't do that. No, and actually, I have some boundaries on crackers. You know what's a bad idea? Triscuits. Those are a bad idea in bed. Did that one time. Went, ooh, never again.
Yep, did that too.
Never
It's
again.
you may as well just pull insulation out of your
That was a
attic and
fucking
just
mistake.
throw it into bed. You're like,
Why
fuck,
am I
why do
so-
I itch?
Oh, you idiot! You ate Triscuits. You dumb shit. Why would you do
I actually have a friend that you have not met that was on Naked and Afraid. He's not in the knife community. He's been at a couple shows, but
that? Oh, yeah, what's his name?
I can't tell you because it's on the upcoming. The season just started this season. I think this month. I think this new season this month. Did they start a new season?
I have no fucking idea. I'm so far behind. I'm like catching up, dude. I'm catching up.
His name's Sam. My friend Sam,
Sam.
not Sam the cooking guy.
I will remember this. And then I'll be like,
Actually, you
Sam. that
actually you
guy."
met Sam. He was working at the Fiberlate Firestarter booth.
Did I?
Big guy.
Oh, big
Big guy.
fella.
He's a bodybuilder. He was the only guy at the show that was our size. Like it was me and you and Sam, and that's it. Like guys, you guys don't realize. Like Elliot and I are
We're not small.
we're not small people.
No.
And like you see it like when Nico's here and shit, but like we are well above average size.
Yeah, I'm 6'5".
I'm 6'3". And we go to a knife show and we're like, there he is. I see Elliot. There he is
Hey,
over
what's
there.
up, bro? What's up?
Waving each other across the show. There's not a lot. Like every once in a while you'll see a couple guys. But like you have your Nick Shabazes and most of the guys that are at the show and you're like, oh, you see all these guys. They're not like knife guys, just like knife show guys just aren't that big. Like Russell Safiato, just tiny little guy. He's like this big. He's like the size of my beer bottle. Wow, yellow? Really?
Look at that.
That looks fucking that's what their bottles should look like. Looks dope.
Pacifico Metal.
Let's see. What do you guys want to know about? Like, what do you guys want to know about, like, in the knife world? Because, like, I do this all the time, and I never really talk about it, because I've been to enough knife shows. Like, anybody, like, just, like, what's your fucking least favorite thing about a knife show besides people? Besides the fact that there's so many fucking people there.
Besides people. Well, okay. Well, that depends, right? We gotta put some qualifiers on here. Am I just attending the knife show, or am I exhibiting at the knife show?
Just attending.
Just attending.
Because I went to a knife show with you as an attendee, and you were already just, like, angsty and upset before they even opened the doors. Oh, Ed, ask a question. I have an opinion on Rick Henderer, and we'll get to that in a second. If I don't respond to your question, we'll get back to it. Do you want me to respond to this question while you think about what your least favorite things are about a knife show?
There's so many things I don't like. So,
Right, it's...
so many things.
Are you going to CCKS?
Where is it and when is it?
It's in Oxnard next weekend.
No.
I'll be there. Guys, I will be going to CCKS and I will be filming. Like last time I went to the show, didn't film a fucking thing.
The absolutely most cool knife maker. Oh, there's actually a couple guys that I really
That you
really
wouldn't
like.
expect.
That
The
you
most
oh.
cool knife maker you wouldn't expect. You know who's my favorite person to talk to at a knife show? I haven't seen him for a long time. Jason Browse. Fuck, I love that dude.
You know what?
Jason is such a good dude.
My very first experience, the very first knife show that I ever went to was actually a California custom show. And I walk in the door, and Browse is right there, and he looks at Chris and me, and he goes, "Hey, wait a minute. I know you guys. You're the Ferrum Forge brothers." And we're like,
Why does this guy know us?
Jason Browse knows who we are. That's so crazy to me. Because like at that point in time, like he was very established. He was pumping out shit, and you know we were nobody. We like had a YouTube channel.
I have a question for you.
What?
Okay, so opinion on Rick Hinderer. Okay, I got news for you. You know what does suck about knife shows? He's right. It's fucking crowded. It's fucking tight. There, you see the same, especially at a custom knife show, you see the same fucking knife at every goddamn table. Every once in a while I have these little offshoot things, like there's a guy that's making a really cool kitchen knife, but you're gonna see the same goddamn stag handle Damascus buoy with a recurve at every fucking table. And by the time you get to the end of the show, and I've said this 100 times, by the time you get to the end of the show, you get to the last table, that could be the best fucking stag handled recurve Damascus buoy at the show. That could be the fucking award winner. And I got news for you. At that point, you just don't fucking care because everything in the middle of that show is exactly the same from table to table to table. But you'll have some guys like I'm trying to think of their name. They come down from Fresno area. Really, really cool handmade kitchen knives. They're great, great dudes. Met them a couple times at shows. You get to see the guys from like Focus lights, the flashlights. But it fucking sucks. But opinion on Rick Hinderer. I liked Rick up until he was a complete bitch about somebody critiquing his knives in a video and then sent them a cease and desist. And I was like, here's the thing. There's a couple companies that I used to really talk about a lot and thought they were fucking great. You're never going to see another one of their knives on my channel. And Hinderer's one of them. I've had people offer to send me Hinderers on review, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's okay.
Well, see, Michael. See, I have a little different take on that, right? As a guy who, you can catch some heat and shit on the internet. I've lived through what I would call the dark times on YouTube. Like,
well, let me quantify this. So the video that went up was they actually multiple tests the proper way, heat treat on one of the knives that was supposed to be at a specific heat treat. And it came out a little low, and he was like, there's issues sometimes with heat treat and stuff like that, and
lots of variables,
but you should be a little bit more careful with your heat treat, stuff like that. This individual did not really flame spray Rick Hinderer, and his team went nuts. His team was already getting heat because they had replied back to a customer with a YouTube video about something that was wrong with a knife, and they're like, look, this dude like this and that, and so they'd already gotten some heat, and then he did this cease and desist. So the reason that happened was it was kind of bullshit, and you're just not gonna see any more of his knives. I was like, well, you know what, like, I'm from Ohio, Rick's from Ohio, but anytime I talked to Rick, he was pretty cool, but then I was like, oh, like, that's not cool. I get what you're saying, like, you can get a lot of heat, but this was not unwarranted heat, and it wasn't anything really that bad. I definitely say worse things about Benchmade. Once again, fuck Benchmade with your $450 fucking knife that's a piece of shit. It's off center. It's ground wrong. But
there's
that's
a lot
all
to
I
hate.
got to say.
There's much to hate.
Okay, that's the one I was going to ask you, because I know that you like
What?
Jake Hoback. Because here we talked about Jason Browse, and this was the one I was gonna say, because I don't like Jake Hoback. I've made no qualms about saying I don't like Jake Hoback. Jake led the charge to try and get Jason Browse fucking erased from the knife world when all Jason was doing was getting things machined offshore, brought to his shop, doing it mid-tech style, and adding 51% of the overall, as we know, makes it an American-made product. And Jake Hoback led the fucking charge, only to find out that Jake was allowing his knives to be marketed. They were 100% Chinese made as American made knives. What do you think about Jake Hoback?
And then went and said, it's none of your business. Oh, come on, man. Hey, are you new? You're not new. You've been in this shit longer than I have. No, you have to be fucking honest. Like, it's not hard to find. I think one of my favorite ones, right, is I got a shipment of knives in from We Knife, and apparently they had recycled boxes because on the inside of the box it said Hoback knives. I was like,
Huh. Hey guys, can I get some new boxes? Because
and it was like, well, not that I didn't already know that, but like, okay, but you're still not saying. Oh, okay.
Oh, Will Moon. What do you think about Will Moon?
Man, there's a fucking.
There's one right there.
There's a story of a dude who couldn't get out of his own way.
I'm doing really good.
Here's
Boom! Ah, my foot!
Here's the thing, right? So, I have had interactions with a great many knife makers, right? And they have come to me and asked my advice because you know what? For a lot of my career, right, we have stayed like out of the crosshairs of super amounts of hate, right? We've been pretty good at dodging some bullets, right? We dodge, right? We've gotten into scuffles on the internet about about shit.
About patina that formed on a knife. They're like, hey, this bullshit. I'm like, it's stainless, not stain proof. You want fucking stainless? Get fucking knit now.
So people have come to me and asked my opinion, and my normal opinion is my response is do not respond to people who are clearly just angry and just want to fucking take it out on you. Don't respond. Like there's a difference in tone that you get in a comment or an email where you just say, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way, and you leave it and you don't ever go back.
I have a YouTube comment section. I do a lot of typing and then delete
Yes.
the entire thing. I'm like, oh, it's fucking Jesus.
We have a rule
Delete the
at
entire
Ferrum
thing.
Forge that you go ahead and you write your feelings out, you get it out, you get that hate out, and then you delete it. And then
Or you look at me and you're like, Mike, read that. I'm like, yeah, I don't think you should send that. You're like, okay, if you don't think I should send it,
then
I
it's bad.
absolutely can't send that.
Really bad.
It's that bad?
Yes.
Yes, it's that bad. Could you hand me a rain grenade? But I like using this.
I got you.
I don't think my deodorant's getting it. Oh, I
Is it
believe.
you?
Yeah, it might be me.
Great.
Either that or somebody ordered French onion
He's
soup.
musky.
Musky.
It could be me.
Could be both of us.
It's pretty sweaty.
It's people don't realize even with the fan on,
Don't matter.
It gets like those lights don't put out that much heat, but it's definitely warmer here.
We are sitting right next to each
We
other.
are sitting.
We produce a lot of BTUs.
He's hot.
I'm hot, real hot. That's
So-
why my wife likes me because I'm her heater. I wake up in the middle of the night and it's just plastered on me, and I'm like, I'm sweating my balls off. Like I made a puddle in the bed.
This is
She's
not
like,
it's not
"Oh, this is
uncommon for me
great."
to hear this. Get the fuck off me! It's fucking too hot. Why the fuck are you so warm? I don't know, a big dude. We put off a lot of heat. A big furnace
Chemical
running in this
reactions
thing.
going on here.
Let's see what else we got. My personal no-go list. Paulo Bazzano. Has he still got you blocked?
Wait, he's still alive?
Yeah. Yeah, the Mars knife. Once again, August has rolled around and we did our Paulo Blazon. If you haven't found that video, I do my that's my birthday present
Your
to
annual
myself.
one?
My annual one. If you haven't watched that, you should go watch it because I really tear that fucking douchebag a new asshole. And one time he was like, I'll kick the shit out of him if I see him at a show. And fucking Jason McCoy was like, I don't think that's a good idea for
Bad
you to say
idea,
out
right?
loud. Like, that's not. Jason, I love
That's a
Jason
real
McCoy. He's like,
bad
hey,
idea.
I don't think you should say that out loud because I don't think that's going to happen. Because he's going to fuck you up. No Leon Ma. Well, here's the thing. I like Leon Ma. Larry's a good dude. Okay, so I do have to admit the way he handled the thing with Jared Neves. So Jared over at Neves Knives put out a video because he got a knife that he had waited a very long time for. It was late. When he got it, the detent was all fucked up and shit. Hey, what's up, Cole? You still owe me a rain check for a live feed, dickhead. So Tri-State EDC. He's a good dude. He's from Ohio. He lives outside of Cincinnati, so you know he lives in the realm of meth and fentanyl. Guys on the nod, like leaning, like just walk, like asleep at the sidewalk. So what happened was Jared did a video critiquing some bad things about the knife, and I've seen a couple versions of it that were bad. There was a lot of blade play. It was like almost no detent, and Leon went ape shit and fucking said that Jared didn't know what he was talking about. And it was like it was a malicious review and stuff like that. And so Jared responded. But here's the thing, Leon is I like Leon. He's a good dude. The problem is Leon Ma has got. I just don't think he knows how to interact with people. He's a good dude. He's like us.
He's not a people person.
He's not a people person. It's like he's got Asperger's, just like me and Elliot. Like we interact really well together, and I interact really well with Leon Ma. But the rest of people in general, I just don't fucking get him most of the time. There's a small group of people that I can, and I actually get along really well with Leon Ma. He's a good dude. The problem was that he's so passionate about what he does that he didn't follow Elliot and Chris's rule, which is keep your fucking mouth shut.
Well, this is the thing, right? So even if you're not physically making the knife, you know you've designed it, right? And all what you don't see as a consumer,
I see it, Ian. I see it in there.
Is that from the moment you conceive of the knife and you render it and you design it to the point that it comes out, right? It's been a bit. It's been a hot minute since that is a process that occurs, and it can take 6 months to a year. Like it's a process to get a product out and launched. So you put a lot of time in,
especially if you're dealing with Reat, which typically have 6 to 8 months delays on top of the 6 to 8 month delays. Ask Brian Nadeau. He was so fucking mad.
I mean, they do good work, but Jesus, they take forever.
They do, yeah.
So, like, I understand, right? It's because you've had to nurture this what started as an idea.
Ian, I'll come back to that in a second.
And you've had to move it along through stages of a process for a long time, and then you're like, it's not just the knife. Then you got to do all the marketing and fucking shit like that for it too. And so you've spent a lot of time thinking about that thing, and then it gets out in the world, and people talk bad about the thing, your baby that you made. You made a baby. And they talk bad about it, and you get a little, you feel it. You feel the feels. Now, what smart people do is go, all right, whatever. Okay. Maybe you got a shit one. That happens.
Yeah. Well, and that's, so if Leon Ma was passionate, he wouldn't have let weak detents slip through. Here's the thing, and this is the big problem. As opposed to Elliot, Leon Ma is not like a knife maker, like with a shop,
yeah, like
and shit like that.
He physically cannot make
he physically can't do it. So those knives come in and they go right out. And a lot of times they leave straight from Reat directly to a vendor. So if a knife, like, you can't blame Leon. Like, how many of your guys' knives go to vendors before you even get them hands on? None. Right? Because you're a knife maker.
They all come to me first.
They all come to you before they get released, right?
Yes, and we
QA everything, and I've seen the process. It takes and I've helped with the process. It takes for fucking ever.
I mean, we got a run of stingers and stinger liner locks, and we still have maybe 200 of them that are sitting in the office because they didn't pass. And it's not so like we use them for parts and stuff. They don't go completely to waste. And like
a lot of makers don't do that. A lot of makers, those knives go directly from Reat to the vendor.
And we still miss shit. Like, it's just Chris and I. Like, we still miss things. And then, like, a knife will go out. Like, since Chris isn't in the office much anymore, like, I'll ship a knife out. And I just, like looked at it. I didn't open and close it a whole bunch of times. And so it'll come out, and the person will get it and say, hey, like, it's got this and this and this. And I go, all right, yeah, you know what? I get that.
Yeah.
Because it's just me doing this shit, and it's a lot. So, here, I'll send you a new one.
So I saw, I can't remember which knife that was that we're dealing with, that we're talking about, but I saw 3 of them, and only one of them had an issue. I thought so. I just cracked my screen protector.
At least it was the protector and not your screen, Michael.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess I'm being too harsh on Leon then. Yeah, I mean, you got to remember, like, so who was the other guys? There's a lot of guys that aren't knife makers. They don't have a shop. So when these knives come in, if there's something, like, a lot of times they'll get some in and they sell them themselves. And they come into their shop and they sell them themselves, and there's no, like, process where they're, like, QAing them. Even if there was, they couldn't repair them. Like, I've seen you and Chris, even to a point, like I helped fix a couple like blade play, you know, tightening pivots and stuff like that. But there's a lot of guys that's just not in their
No, you
wheelhouse.
can't
I
do it.
designed this. I know CAD. I did this. I have no idea. Like there's guys out there that have never once made a knife. And they've designed a knife and it comes out and they get out and then people are like, this guy's selling these knives. I'm like, you got to remember, he didn't make that. That's strictly an OEM thing. And sometimes like a lot of guys don't have, like you guys have a space for that. And you have a space to fix things and customize things and still make custom knives if you want. A lot of people don't have that. So these things show up and they just got to hit the I believe button and get them out the door because the investment you have in this, like a run of knives can cost you like $30,000 to $40,000 on the low side. Like if you're just making plain, like if you're doing like special custom versions of it with like fucking carbon fiber inlays, you're looking at fucking 40 to 50K. That money's tied up. Like the vendors might pay you some. You got to get them fucking things out. You don't have time to like sit and piss around with them and fuck around with them for like 3 months to go through all 400 knives, which it can take that long if you're doing it all by yourself, one person, right?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Okay, so did I hit all the wickets?
Yes.
Okay, do you have anything to add on that one? From personal experience?
There is also a point where you have to recognize that you run a business. And the point of your business is to get people to buy the thing that you make. And so at the end of the day, no matter how you feel, right, it's got to be about customer retention and getting people the things that they need. So like this is sort of the approach that we take to customer service because at this point in my career, I get the most insane customer service emails. And well, you want to like just beat people down with logic, science, and reason. Sometimes that's not the way to go. Like, you know, you don't know who you're talking to on the other end, right? You could be talking to somebody who's on the lower end of the IQ scale, and like they just don't know. They don't know things. So like, trying to explain something that's even marginally complicated, it's just like why bother? You're wasting your time. Hey, I'm sorry that happened. I'll send you a new knife.
But every once in a while, you get that one customer that no matter how much you try to placate them, and so for all y'all that say I use big words, that means to make them happy. You get that one. Would you like to tell that story? I love this story. This is one of my favorite stories.
You're gonna have to be more specific because I got a lot of these.
The professor on the East Coast with the screws, the stripped screws, and no matter what you did, like you offered to send her screws.
Oh, that one. Oh,
Fuck. It was so much fun. Like I would come in, because I was still working full time at the time, and I would come in on a Friday. I'm like, oh, I got to hear what's the new developments, and Elliot would be like, oh, Michael, I have got to tell you what has occurred.
So this was a mass drop product too, so it wasn't even
Yes.
really my own.
Yeah.
But at that point, we decided, hey, you know what? Anybody who's got a Ferrum Forge branded anything, right? They are actually a customer of ours, so we got to take care of those people. We decided that as a company, so we weren't going to like put any responsibility on other people. Mass drop, and so because they weren't clearly not taking.
They
it.
weren't taking
They were
any.
it. Like and to this day, right? I send parts out for mass drop knives almost every day.
Oh, which reminds me.
There's lots of
While
there's,
you're-
not because they're like messed up.
Keep
it's
telling
'cause
the story. I
there's
have something
so-
for
so-
you.
There's a lot of them, so rule of big numbers, right? There's a lot of stuff out there in the world. People are gonna fuck it up, for sure. As I do myself. So yeah, we had this one lady, and she was just like,
Well, if anybody ever told her she had an abrasive personality, they were wrong because it was caustic.
she was just so mean.
Like just
And there was like nothing we could do. Like we offered to like replace shit, and it's like she wouldn't accept any of it.
she was unhappy, kind of me. Like the lifetime of unhappiness.
So when you get somebody right, and you just like, it's the 21st century. I think I want to give a Google here, and I got to know a little bit more about this human being. And then I found a whole lot about this person.
Oh, the HOA. And
Oh, she was apparently a real gem.
in case y'all don't know what that means, she was a complete, utter piece of shit.
And like there were like newspaper articles about. I found so much stuff about this woman. I was like, oh my god. Okay, so you're just a terrible, terrible human.
not a worthwhile individual.
And you're trying to blast your self-loathing, hate, and distaste for existence on everyone around you. And now I have become that person. So, okay, there's nothing we can do for you. I'm sorry.
You guys get to see a gift presented to Elliot from me on. God damn. Fucking get it. 905 Freeway is apparently a racetrack. This was sent to me a while ago. And I told the individual that this would go nowhere because it was a gift unless I gave it to you guys, you and Chris. This is the crux, but this is the 858 serial number.
Oh.
So if you guys don't know, they wanted the 858 serial number. There you go. They wanted the 858 serial number because 858 was the area code of the shop.
Yes, it was.
And so there you go. The 858 crux has made its way full circle.
And the button lock stinger is the 619.
Oh, is
That's
it?
the model, our invoice number on it.
That has
619.
my edge on it, by the way. Be careful with it. I sharpened a knife for Elliot for his birthday one time, and he was like, "I kind of appreciate the gesture, but fuck, man, I liked using that knife. Like now I'm scared of it."
Still sits on my dresser, Mike. Every now and then I look at it and go, "Oh, but I got my eyes."
I thought that one got stolen.
But didn't you re-edge the new one that I got that Nico gave me?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
right.
It's a Les George VECP.
I have a VECP Tonto over here that was that's Nico's. There you go. So there you go. It made its way home.
Put that one in the case because I got a case.
This reminds me, I have to send in my Ferrum Forge Mako. This is a note to myself.
Oh, please do. God, I love those. Not as bad as the spinner.
I have mine. Daddy. Mike Emler says I can have a mustache knife. Could you make me one, Daddy? So Cole said that I was crushing his dreams of. It says here. So Mike, you're saying my dream of making a knife shaped like a mustache is null and void just because I can't actually make it myself. No.
Yeah,
That's not what I'm saying. Your parents own a machine shop. You can make whatever the fuck you want. I'm just saying it might not be the most functional. That's Cole. His parents have a machine shop in Ohio area.
Wait, is that the guy you were telling me about?
That's the guy I was telling you about. I did tell. Don't forget, I did tell him about you. So, what else we got here? Please spare us your Cole. Oh, never mind. Cole's parents do CNC. That's why he's writing about not being able to make a knife. I'm pretty sure Cole could fucking come up with a plan for a knife. I got to tell you, fucking. Let me see here. I can't afford my parents' shop, is what Cole says. This is a great little fixed blade. I don't like AEBL in this game. This is a very good AEBL knife.
Why don't you like AEBL?
I never, like, most of the production shit just never takes the edge I want.
Really?
This is a custom heat treat, though. It's a full custom knife, so it's a custom heat treat. So this definitely takes the edge I want. So
Well, I can understand that.
you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times like I've had knives like okay, my stonefish, the production version versus Matt's, which is here for sharpening. The difference in the edge is just completely insane because it's a custom heat treat that I did on that versus the production heat treat. But if you use the heat treat that I used and then you send it off to get it double disc ground, they're like, we can't do this. You're burning up our fucking machines.
Yeah, no.
Because apparently, what is it, 64, 65?
Yeah, but with like the highest available wear resistance
Yeah.
that 20 CV will take.
It does rust more. I was trying to explain
Yes,
this
it
to
does.
somebody. It rusts more. So, okay. So everyone thinks I'm bullshitting. Let me see if I've got the science of this right. So the higher you heat treat it up and you get that, the more of the chromium that would come to the surface and make chromium oxide to make it rust resistant has now been absorbed into making carbides, correct?
Correct.
So you get more carbides, harder steel, better edge, less rust resistance.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's less free chromium.
See, that's the way it works. Like, I was trying to go, all right, that's not how it fucking works. I was like, all right, I didn't fucking pay attention to like a fucking actual fucking genius or anything. Like, fucking, but I wasn't there when he told me how it fucking worked and why it was like that.
I was deeply curious. What was the actual chemical mechanism that was going on in stainless steel? Beyond what you can read, like on Wikipedia.
No, Matt Stonefish is not an S125V because I refused to do that because I'm not
What?
that much of a fucking sadist.
It's really fun.
Sadist or masochist? Am I the S or am I the M? Which am I? I'm the masochist. Are you into S&M? Oh, yeah, we love Spaniards and Mexicans. Wrong S&M, Mike. What?
So, I've been working with a professor at the University of Nebraska, and we're trying to develop some high entropy alloys for cutlery industry. It's been interesting so far.
You were telling me about this.
Yeah, like our sample pieces are delayed because they've made my fucking brainchild, and I have no idea how it's going to turn out.
So, guys, with me being vain, I definitely gave Elliot the lower chair so that we definitely don't look like we're that much. Because otherwise, it would be like me and Nico. Like, I'd be like, because
Quiet,
he's
Michael.
fucking. How tall did you say you were?
6'5".
Yeah, you're fucking 2 inches taller than me.
Yes, they do stack shit that high.
And heavy. He's a big dude. I picked him up once. I was like, I was not expecting that much density.
Very dense.
What is it?
Do you need your glasses, bro?
No, I'm trying to, like, I can't read real well.
Reading is hard for Mike.
Kara is taking a G code course. I'm in
I've never
3D
learned to
CAD
read.
side of this non-existent operation. What do we? See, this is where it gets weird. Is where they start having side conversations,
Yeah.
and then we'll just start talking to each other.
Yeah.
So, what is the plan moving forward? You say you don't, not sure, like releases for knives, but are you going to? Now, I have a personal request.
What?
There needs to be, just so the world can have it, because it's such a good knife, a production end tack. It is by far, like, of the knives you guys have made, I love all the knives you guys have made. I think by far, hands down, if I had to pick a knife that is the best knife you guys have made, it would either be the Master Blaster or the end tack. I liked it enough, I bought my dad one, and they weren't fucking cheap.
No, they were not.
And that cocksucker went and died and then fucking didn't even really carry the motherfucker. He had it for like 6 months and then decided he was going to get cancer and shuffle off this mortal coil. And I was like, well, that was a waste of fucking 500. Sorry, my bad.
Didn't you get it back?
Yeah, I got it back. It's over there.
Okay. You have two.
This is how things work in my family. We berate our fucking loved ones that have passed. That we
dare you
fuck.
die.
It's their fault. Like, I didn't want him to go yet. I honestly told somebody the other day
If
that
you were dead, I'd kill you.
I was, somebody was talking, we were talking about mead, and I was like, oh, I'll fucking, it's like mead, you should fucking get a recipe for mead. And they were like, oh, I can't find one. I was like, oh, I'll call my dad. My dad's been dead for like 6 years, and I still, like, that's that moment where you're like,
Oh, yeah.
fuck, that sucks, and it hits you in the guts. So what was that? I would love to have a production deity. The Allurus, is that the demigod? Or the deity? Which one is the deity?
The deity was a collab we did with Eric Kramer. And the demigod is actually based off of that design.
So what is the Allurus? Because it reminds me,
Yeah.
so, the same one. Okay, there you go. So the same lineage. So guess what? Go buy an Allurus. That's why I like it so much. I gotta say, Allurus, the knife of the year last year.
I love that
Knife of the year this year. You guys fucking, I've got to do the video. Knife of the year this year, guys, is a fucking $55 knife.
Really?
Yeah. It's the Ray Laconico Button Lock Echo.
I can see that.
Yeah. Because it just hits all the wickets. There is just not a knife out there right now. There's been so many good knives. Like, I'll grab the best knife that's coming this year, but it's still not knife of the year because there's other criteria. Is it the best knife? Yeah, but at $450, like,
Ooh,
you know?
That's a bit pricey. I'm kind of curious to see what this is.
I absolutely have fallen in love with it. It's the Something Obscene JK V4.
This works for you.
Huh?
This works for you, huh?
Yeah, I love that. I love
That's what we're talking
so much about that. There's just so much about the way it feels in hand. It's got the fucking, some of the best jimping on a production knife that's come in. The balance on it, the weight, the lock bar. So you've got super good detent, and lock it, but it's just almost no. It's just so good. And then this pocket clip, as goofy and weird as it looks, and it looks like it should be uncomfortable, is absolutely more comfortable than the one that came with it as a replacement, which is a straight clip with the lightning bolt milled out in it. I just listen to it. It slams open. That is, in my opinion, the best knife that has come in. And I've had a lot of knives come in this year. There's a lot of weight reduction in there, too. That wound up in, that's been in so many videos. Echo or Pyrite Warney, best budget knives of the year, no doubt. And see, here's the thing. Typically, I'll do a budget versus I'll typically break it down, and there'll be a budget knife that takes knife of the year in the budget category, and then but I couldn't this year because like the Echo just destroyed. And then I think if I had to pick a second place, it would be the frame lock or liner lock fucking Echo.
You got one?
Yeah. It's
Bring it.
the Echo may already be out. If not, here's the micarta version.
So much to pull through.
Micarta version's right there. Button lock version
My boxing.
should be here on the counter somewhere.
So many knives in this garage. I love it.
And the button lock. I have them both. And then I have.
Oh, okay. This knife.
And then there's the button lock. So I don't like front flippers, and I love that.
Put it against my pale skin.
But then again, Ray has not made a design I don't like. I mean, honestly, like, people are like, well, that's because Ray's just only ever made one knife and just fucking put it in different handles. I'm like, that's not true. That's not true. That's definitely my that's my choice for a knife. That I have the prototype one that's actually down inside the love seat now. And so I have to dig it back
Is that
up.
a euphemism, Mike?
No, it fell down inside the love seat.
Do you have a knife in your butt right now?
No, the love seat behind the green screen. There's a whole couch, like a half a couch.
Okay.
I've slept on it a bunch of times. I love that. But it's such a good knife.
Yeah, the Pyrite's hard to argue with there.
I like the Pyrite. I just like that better. And you know why? Multiple deployment methods. I like being able to reverse flick. I can't reverse flick the Pyrite except off the thumb stud. I like the flipper, the reverse flip aperture on it.
You're a reverse flip aperture.
We are running out of room for empties on that counter.
Well, there's a bunch of knives and beers and shit on there. Just crash a knife. Oh God. Here it comes.
And if you don't have one of these, you fucking need one. Like, what are you gonna do with it? Who fucking knows? But like, it's a fucking folding goddamn tomahawk. Like, I just want to break beer bottles and shit with it.
Michael, we talked about this. No. I understand. You want to hit shit.
You can reverse flick a tomahawk. Like, I mean,
Do you even reverse flick your tomahawk, bro?
like, fuck, listen to that. Do you hear it?
Yeah, it's loud.
Yeah, it's fucking loud. It's fucking great. Fuck.
This is why you're deaf.
No, I'm deaf because I lived inside a 3-story gun for about 6 years. Any rate, knives, beers, and shit should be Emler's new live stream name. I mean,
not wrong.
not wrong. Could be just. That's what it sounds like when you blow in Bodiger's ear. Remember when you shaved with a tomahawk? I did.
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember I did that video. I shaved with a tomahawk. I absolutely was thinking about doing. So, guys, I am going to film a video. It's just, it's not going to be an actual shaving video. It's going to be like a recommended wet shave video. Like, you know, fucking straight razor versus safety razor, like the recommended stuff. And I'll put links and everything because I don't use a fucking cartridge razor. I shave with I use a brush and I wet shave with a fucking safety razor or a straight razor. And I got to tell you, it's way fucking cheaper.
Thank you. This is why I don't shave.
You shave here, right?
Yeah. He's a trimmer.
I don't know.
Done.
I can't do that. I fucking get bumps. I got to use a fucking. I have to use specific things. I have to use bump patrol because like my buddy at my fucking last my last command was like, "You need bump patrol." I was like, "What's that?" And he goes, "Well, that's black dude aftershave." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "No, it gets rid of razor bumps." And I swear to God, that shit works so fucking well.
Really?
Yeah, it's bump patrol. Would you grab us another beer?
Here, you can open.
Yeah. Thank you. So, Tri-State, I imagine it is bedtime. It's fucking 11 o'clock in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Cole, I'm going to call you sometime this week. We're going to get something figured out where we do a collaboration video. Are you still there? Hurry up and answer. Yeah. Let's see here.
Let's see here.
What have you seen come out recently that you would honestly think about buying as far as knife stuff?
That made me go, oh.
Yeah, what have you seen like that was like, ooh, because this was it, and they were like, well, we're sending you one. I'm like, fuck yes. And they're like, we'll send you the other one. And I'm like, I love you guys. Guys, I got news for you. When I get the upgraded version of this, I'm doing this as a giveaway. There we go. He's like, my face.
Yeah, well, like some facial scars are distinguishing. You get too many, and then then you just look like a hot mess.
Cole's not here to leave a message. I mean, I've had a good bit of facial scarring, and I look okay, but mine's had a lot more time to heal.
I'm thinking hard. I'm thinking hard about stuff that's come out that I went, ooh, I might have to purchase that bad boy. Oh, believe it or not, that big knife dagger.
Oh yeah. I saw that.
Like that. I'm a sucker for a dagger. I really am. Do I have any use for them whatsoever? Nah. But I love them.
Fuck, I got my Cold Steel OSS is over there. It was on my
Oh,
belt.
speaking of Cold Steel, I might have to buy that goddamn Mayhem. I think it's hilarious.
Is that the
Big giant motherfucking knife.
what? Is that the one with the no? That's the Chaos. The one that looks like a trench knife.
Hold on, we're gonna Google it.
We're gonna Google it.
Cold Steel Mayhem. No phone. No. Let's try it again. Cold Steel Mayhem. You motherfucker.
Hang on. Let me help you out here because I have Siri. Siri usually works better. Siri, show me images of the Cold Steel Mayhem knife.
Yeah, that crazy motherfucker. It's huge. It's massive. I like it.
You know what it looks like? It looks like okay, so it's almost. I don't. Here's the problem. I don't like the Atlas lock. No, I'm just saying like that's the only problem I see with it. If it had a triad lock, I'd be behind it. It's still a cool looking knife.
Yes, in fact, that goddamn Cold Steel fucking crazy the Dalstrong Butcher sword thingy. Yeah, that did.
Hey.
I did have a minute there where I was like,
Wait, what?
I can buy it right now.
What did they make?
It's oh boy,
Dahlstrong Butcher Knife Sword.
it'll pop it up for sure.
Oh, there's no one in my contacts. Sorry,
That's 'cause
I
you're
wasn't.
supposed to search the Google.
Yeah, I know.
Not your phone.
Dahlstrong Butcher Knife Sword. I'm one of their.
Yeah, that fucking thing.
Oh.
Not only can you butcher your meat, but you can
This
also
one?
slay
The
elves.
Annihilator?
Yeah, you can slay elves with it.
I'm definitely reaching out to fucking. I'm definitely
Yeah,
reaching
that's
out
right.
to
You
my-
got the hook up there. Yeah, you
I'm like, you
Get
guys haven't sent me
to-
anything in a long time, so let's see what could we do about
just
getting this here.
cheeky enough. Because you know what? I actually do own the Dalstrong meat tenderizer that looks like the fucking Warhammer.
Looks like
I have that.
Mjolnir. Like, ah!
Have I ever used it? No, not at all.
Bro, Yuka, like, I need to borrow it because Yuka would absolutely use that for
Just to beat your meat.
cutlets. Yeah, exactly. I use it to beat my meat. That is a monster.
Yeah.
Is it
yeah.
double-edged?
I don't know. I hope. It's fucking-
Carbon fiber?
It's ridiculous.
I gotta ask Abby if I can get this. Like, I mean, they haven't sent me anything in a long time, but they did send me a bunch of sharpening stones. I got a ceramic rod. I got a Shogun series knife. I got a Gladiator series knife. I got a Phantom series knife. I fucking gave a knife away. They've given me a bunch of stuff. I have one of their shirts. Like, I have a shirt that I wear when I make their ads. I have to add them in the background back here. I just haven't figured out. Dahlstrong makes a meat axe. I just sharpened a bunch of Dahlstrong knives when I was going to film it, and my buddy Jack brought him over. He's a Navy guy, and he brought over a bunch of Dahlstrong knives. I was like, yeah, I'm going to film sharpening Dahlstrong knives on my Dahlstrong stones, and I get them these stupid sharp all the way up to 6,000 grit with the stones they sent me. And Jack and I were talking, and we started drinking beer right as I got ready to sharpen the first night, and I was like, I'm not filming this.
And we're done now.
Because the last time I was drinking when I sharpened a knife and filmed it, I shoved a fillet knife in here and out there. And I was like, and again, my buddy, it was Matt. Tino was here and he goes, I was like, we got to stop for a second. He goes, did you do what I just think you did? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, how bad? And I took my hand off and he goes, Mike, why is it bleeding in two places? I'm like, that's because it went all the way through.
All the way.
It's like, that's where it came out. And he was like, and I see him go, it was like a literal, like, you just watch the blood drain out of his face. He's like, what the fuck?
It's an occupational hazard. I get it.
It's not the first time I stabbed myself in the hand.
Nope. Nor will it be the last.
I put tape on it, fucking finished sharpening his knife. It's like, what the fuck are you made out of?
Manhood.
Fucking testosterone and testicles and muscles and cake. Guys have an emotion. We just bury it under beer and cake. That's why we have beer guts.
Cookies.
They make a meat axe. Yeah, I sharpened the what do they call the fucking meat cleaver?
Don't know.
I had a meat cleaver. I sharpened a Dahlstrom meat cleaver.
Look, I don't know their entire catalog,
I sent it.
Mike.
Well, I sent it back with Jack, and I was like, "Be
How
careful
many
with this."
other fucking companies' catalogs do I have to memorize?
All of them.
Fuck.
You're a fucking genius. What is this?
Sounds like a lot of time, a lot of effort.
Is it better or worse than a Kiridashi helicopter? Hey. Remember that?
Yeah. Well, how could I forget, Mike?
I was like, let me take a look at it. We could probably glue it. And he was like, yeah, no,
you gotta go to the hospital.
yeah, you got to go to the hospital.
That's hospital bill.
Chris was like, there's a hospital right up the road, and we could call an ambulance. I was like, I'm not going to the hospital. I'm going to Balboa. It's free. I was driving on the freeway with my arm out to my hand out the window, just blood dripping. That's a good one, too. Yeah, that was a good one. That was when I got my tendon.
And they had to put it back together.
Yeah. Emergency surgery. I had to get...
Oh, so when I got this, right, everyone's like, oh, you gotta go get stitches. I go, nah, I don't. Really don't.
Did you just fucking steri strip it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fine. I didn't even have to super glue it.
I was honestly on board with super gluing this till when I opened it, I realized that I could see the sleeve of the tendon, and I was like, I'm pretty sure there's a nick in that.
Yep.
I was like,
Got it
yeah,
real-
and then it started
real good.
bleeding, and
Real
it
good.
bled a lot. And then Chris got mad at me because he's like, why aren't you leaving? I was like, I gotta clean blood up. I don't want it to rust. Elliot was like, yep, that's Mike. Like,
You'll heal.
it's gonna fucking,
It
it's
takes forever to clean that shit off.
like once it rusts, like fucking shit. I don't want shit to rust. That was a knife a guy had already paid for. Okay, I can clean this up. I was really upset when they put me in a splint. I couldn't go back. I was like, well, I'm gonna go back to the shop and finish that knife. And they're like, no, you aren't, because we're gonna put you in a splint with your thumb sticking straight up like this
Hey,
for is it fucking 2 months?
is it that
Month?
long?
It was like a month.
So-
It was like a month and a half. Everybody was like, hey, Mike. And I'm like, hey, what's up? They're like, hey. I was like, fuck you.
I didn't do that every day you came in.
Yes, you did.
I would never.
Yes, you did.
Never. I did that. I definitely did.
Kiridashi helicopter. I
I did that.
I had not forgotten about that at all.
No.
Not at all. It's. I'll tell you what. It left a pretty decent scar. That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. Don't ever put a finished and sharpened knife in a drill press.
No. With no clamps. You can clamp it. I mean, I get it. I am not a practitioner
Okay.
of clamps.
Okay. Here's the thing. I lied to everyone and told them that I used the wrong clamps.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I didn't fucking clamp it. I tried to fucking just hold that shit, and that motherfucker idiot coptered on me, and it got me. And it didn't hurt at all. I wanted to say it hurt. It didn't hurt at all. The next day it hurt. It was pretty sharp. The next day it hurt a good bit.
Yeah, that will happen when you sever significant portions of your tissue. They get angry at you.
Well, and they had to use retractors to open it up because they're like, so here's what happened. So I went to the hospital.
Okay, you know what? While you tell this story, I gotta pee.
Okay, you know where the
I
bathroom's
drink
at.
a lot of beer.
Don't pee in my yard.
Fine.
Well, I mean, not that yard. You can pee in the backyard. Just don't pee in the side yard. The neighbors can see you. So I get to the hospital, and they're like, well, you have to see orthopedic surgery to make sure. And they were like, well, you nicked the tendon. And they're like, we're going to have to come back on Monday when we can, like, give you general anesthesia because I'm allergic to numbing agents. And they're like, we're going to have you come back. So we're just going to plug it. And I was like, no, either we sew it up today, or like we're sewing it up. Either we do it now or we sew it up today. And they had to get permission to do surgery with no anesthesia to sew because I did cut the tendon. So I had to like open it up and flush it and all this shit. And I had, at one point, was helping hold the retractors and everything. So I had to have emergency surgery on my thumb, but there was no anesthesiologist there to put me under. So we had to get permission to do it without any, which I've had stitches and shit so many times without any numbing agent because I'm allergic to it. So who else here? Guys, I want to remind you guys, there is a general Discord now that I've set up for everyone. I would love if everybody that's watching would just join. I know you haven't. You know how I know? Because there's only 15 people, and a bunch of them are my paying members. And have I gotten any 15V? EN510. No, I have not gotten any 15V in. I've had a couple chances to get a couple Spider Co's in 15V, and I just haven't seen it. So, Elliot's coming back. I got news for you guys. It's been 2 hours and 24 minutes. I think we're gonna end this. There's only like 15 people here. People are dropping out, so I think we're gonna end this so I can get this all stuff broken down.
It is Sunday night.
It is Sunday night. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know a lot of you guys like have lives and shit.
Gotta work tomorrow.
If I get up and go to work and shit.
Don't I know?
All right. So, yeah, we're probably gonna end this. So, if you guys have any last questions for Elliot, real quick, we'll give you about 4 minutes. It's gonna be an uncomfortable 4 minutes. We're waiting for something to pop up on the screen.
Yeah. I'm sleepy too. I got up like 5 this morning.
You don't sleep though, or have you fixed that?
No, I still. When I say I got up at 5, it means that I really took like a 2-hour nap.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't either want to sleep very much.
Terrible.
Yeah,
Although
there's.
I took a nap today. Took like a 45-minute nap.
What was that like?
Oh, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I laid down to take a nap a couple times this week, and I'm like, it's just not fucking happening.
It was great. Loved it.
So, will there be a?
It's not a question of how many times I wipe. It's how
Effectively?
porcelain looking that toilet paper is afterward. So there's no set number. It's until it comes back with
What do
nothing.
blind people do? Like, how do they fucking know? Like, how do blind people know when to stop wiping?
Fuck. I've never thought about that.
Is there like a sensor?
No, I assume you just gotta sniff it.
It just smells like poo.
Nope, not done yet. Oh, do you know any blind people? I don't know any blind people.
I do know some blind people.
I think this is inquiring minds need today.
I had a cousin. I have a cousin that was deaf the entire time we were growing up, and he got the surgical implant.
Oh my god, you guys are assholes.
We used to fuck with him all the time. We'd come in and we like pretend like we were talking and not making any noise. We showed up one time. We pulled that shit. I didn't realize he'd had the surgery. He's like, "No motherfucker, I can hear you now. I know you fucker. I got that surgery." And you know why I'm so good at that? Because we used to fuck with my deaf cousin all the time. Please give us a 3.75 or larger knife soon. Will has this thing about like
That's
it's
not the most crazy request, Will.
it's not.
It's not.
A lot of you guys' knives were in that realm.
It's crossed
The
my mind.
majority. There's only a couple. As a matter of fact,
It's just because we've made so much stinger.
Yeah. But back in the day, your knives were
They were all fucking
larger.
huge.
They were huge.
It's 3.5 or bigger.
Yeah.
The NTAC was one of the first smaller knives.
I love it. I love the attack. It was the first small knife I actually liked. That's why I said you should
Never
release.
forget your first.
You should you should release a production version of that as like the NTAC 2.0.
I don't hate that idea.
And just to because I guarantee the whole thing is that like big knives have kind of like there's been like a flip.
Yeah.
It was a long time. It was the
Back
big
and forth.
knives, and Will will never like a small knife, but he's coping. He's dealing with some shit in his pants. We commonly call that
Little dick syndrome.
Yeah, that's what I said.
so. Yeah, it's there's been so many good smaller knives released. Like the fucking first one that really got my attention was the Rhea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that CJRB Rhea. That
Tiny.
it was tiny. I was like, it's so small, but it's still got so much cutting ability.
Did you give me one or did Russell give it to me?
Russell gave you one, but you got to see mine before you got yours. Russell actually gave me one to give to you.
Mhm.
I got one for you and one for Nico.
I still have it.
Yeah, mine gets carried a lot. Mine's in that case over there. Anything lately is small to you. Making a production NTAC would prove Elliot is the true NTAC. I love that. That was funny. It was like a guy told me, he's like, fucking this knife looks exactly like your last knife, only smaller. You're just a no talent ass clown. And you're like,
Yep.
yeah, you might be right. Let's just call it the NTAC.
Here we go.
I can do everything with a big knife. I can do with a small knife, but the reverse is not true. This is true,
I
but
don't disagree with that statement.
there's a happy medium. There reaches a point where if the knife is not designed or balanced well, where it just feels out of sorts. Like it just feels like you lose the ability to control. Like that, the Valona, that big black knife over there. It's big and it's like 9.5 inches, but it doesn't feel out of balance. It doesn't feel unwieldy. Sometimes when you get the blade too long, it just doesn't feel like you have control of it.
I know what you mean completely.
Making a large knife just for the sake of making a large knife sometimes is not the way to go. So, all right, it's been 2.5 hours. I'm going to end this. I'm making the command decision because, well, Elliot's got a life and I want to go to bed eventually. And I have a video game that I haven't finished playing. So,
Oh, what are you playing?
I'm redoing a playthrough of Red Dead Redemption 2.
I figured.
But I also have the Callisto Protocol, which is a really good prison escape on the moon on Jupiter, the Jupiter moon. Yeah.
I'm still stuck playing Rust. The fucking the
one's
teenagers
Rust?
got me into it.
Oh yeah, you were playing out with the kids.
Yeah,
I don't play games online very often. I just don't like people enough.
Well,
for
it's
that.
because it's fucking wild, man.
It's nuts. I tried to play.
Fucking
I
insane.
used to play Ghost, Call of Duty Ghost Squads online, and I was okay. And I hadn't done that forever, and I was like, my reflexes aren't fast enough for this anymore. I need some practice. I got to do this. Like I was like, man, I'm just getting fucking murdered.
Yes, that is the way that Rust is.
Yeah, I know.
You're like, oh hey, there's someone over there. Oh, I'm dead. Oh fuck.
Hey, is that a boom? Like what the fuck?
Shit.
Boom! Like how the fuck do they get? I just spawned. So, guys, that's it on this one. We'll do this again. We should do this about once a month. I think this is something we should do about once a month, even if we don't have anything to talk about.
We
just
said that
'cause-
last time.
I know, and then you stopped answering my texts.
That's not true.
This is not true. I stopped doing live feeds. I apologize, guys. Shit's been fucking crazy here. My mom has cancer. My sister was in the hospital. My brother-in-law's an idiot. My kid is fucking learning to drive and fucking doing college applications because she's fucking starting college in
God,
like
that
fucking
makes me
10
feel
months.
old.
Right? I found it. Did you see the picture I sent you guys?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I was like, oh my god.
yeah. So, guys, that's it. I love you all. We're going to end this. Say goodbye.